Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hint Plays. I am Druttercup. I will be your GM or keeper today as I run these people through the most commonly played introductory scenario to Call of Cthulhu, which is The Haunting. It has gone under a couple of different names, but that's what it's currently called. It's featured in every single edition of Call of Cthulhu, I think since the first, and it's also been in every single QuickPlay. It's embedded in some people's brains. So, with me today are Spud. You are unmuted, you can speak.
Oh, hello. I didn't know if you wanted me to. I didn't want to interrupt. So I'm just waving. Hello.
And introducing Sage.
Hi.
Sam.
Hi, everybody.
And somebody called Shard Angel, whose label I am now just checking because I have a horrible feeling I typoed. No, I didn't. You're okay. It's all right. It's just because it's very
Please
small.
tell me it's not Shart Angel.
No, that I would have noticed. It's okay. You're good. You are absolutely fine. PSA, there is a timer notice about the general makeup of Hint, which may be popping up on our bot, as regards the fact that we have a wide selection of genders, orientations, and mental and physical issues represented across not just this table, but across the board, across all the players and GMs in Hint, or most of them anyway. So if that's not your bag, we wish you well. If it looks like it could be your bag, or you're not sure, feel free to stick around, and it's all good. We like new friends. Also, as a PSA, Sam has Tourette's, and this can cause some verbal or physical twitching or utterances, tics. Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to be technical, but that's just me. Yeah, but some of these tics can be physical or verbal, can lead to some utterances, some of which will be amusing, and frequently well timed. However, you can stroll past them, laugh them off unless they're actually looking distressed, and just ignore them in general. Okay, it's nothing to panic about. Doesn't mean they're about to keel over. Last I checked. Probably ought to check.
Doesn't mean they're going to keel over right now.
No.
I think if it did, then I already would have.
Yeah.
I mean, we are playing Call of Cthulhu, so...
There is that, yes. Cheers. I'd like to point out this is just coffee. I haven't just put a huge scotch and coke in.
Sure. That's okay. We know that we're a lot.
So, Call of Cthulhu, for those who don't know, is the Chaosium game of Lovecraftian horror. Yes, we know about Lovecraft. Yes, we know about many of his attitudes. Take those as read. I don't share it. I do like a lot of the world he created. So, this is a game of sanity-melting horror as things from beyond are revealed unto the players, and they realise they make up a very small proportion of a very, very big universe that cares not one jot about them. It's a lot of fun, basically. The emphasis is less on combat than it is on research, and the investigators are, for the most part, absolutely normal people.
And hopefully we will fail every single one of our spot hidden rolls.
Yeah, this is one of the games where seeing something is not necessarily the best idea. High perception in many games is absolutely fine. High perception in this game, oh lordy dicks. So, we are playing in 1932. Actually, the game is in 1932. We're playing in 2022, just to confuse people who thought their YouTube had time travelled.
Or are we?
Yeah, I'm not Nikola Tesla. It's okay. I haven't worked out how streaming works. Chat should be fine. I don't quite know why chat isn't on stream. This Drut, I'm confused.
I didn't notice. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be.
Yeah,
it might just be behind.
Big F.
Wait, is it behind Sam again?
No, it's not showing up, which is a bit on the weird side. Okay, hang on one mo. Hangathoneth. I will figure something out. We're not actually on break, it's just I've got to be messing with this, so give me a sec.
Da-da-da-da.
Yes.
That was a powerful gulp.
It was.
That's how I always drink. Don't you drink like that?
It was like the actual platonic ideal of a gulp. It was kind of impressive.
It was a big gulp, was it?
I'm not making fun. It was just a really impressive gulp. I wish I could gulp like that.
I think I may have found the problem. I may have located the issue.
It's me. I'm the problem.
I thought I was the problem.
We're all the problem. That's why there's no chat.
Well,
too much problem condensed into one stream.
Yeah, I was sorted for everything else. And then, naturally, something was going to go pear-shaped.
Oh, of course.
Woohoo! Right, can I just check everybody is back and can see the game? Woohoo!
Yep, and chat looks like it's there now.
Big whoop. Yeah. I would ask that those of you playing not look too hard at the stream, because I will be using the rule set on Fantasy Grounds, and that includes the plot.
I'm using chatty, so you're safe.
I've got the screen covered up. I just have the chat to the side so that...
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm on chat only.
Right. So, would you like to introduce your characters, please? Starting with Spud, since you're basically there.
Why did you have to do it right as a little hiccup burp was brewing in my throat? I was like, I can quietly mute and do this in private. There's Hi. I'm playing Liz. She, her, drifter. Sorry, she, her, they, them. She, they. Words. I remember how pronouns work. I have those.
2/3 of the available pronouns at any given time. Okay, fine. Sounds about right.
And Drifter, who knows everyone through Shard's character, Alicia, through getting their tattoo done by her. Slightly distant, but generally fairly personable person looking for work. Not a single picture in the list of available pictures quite covers her level of scruffy gender.
No, I think the picture I selected as a placeholder was basically, this is her dressed up for a party. I'm not sure what kind of party, but it's a party.
Don't know where they got the tiara, but
I'm confused as to what party that she'd want to go to.
I'm just gonna fucking steal a picture of Jim from Our Flag Means Death and call dibs on that, basically. Because that hat and coat is, the hair length is just the closest I can get.
There might be some of the ones designated as fellas in that set that might be useful to you.
Don't worry, I'll have to look through it.
Yeah. I split it up by men and women on the grounds. I thought that would make life slightly easier than playing through 160 of each. Right. So, Varia, which is Sage.
I'm playing Varia. Her pronouns are she, her, and she is an artist who likes to paint things in her dreams, and I'm assuming she's also probably met everyone through the tattoo shop, and yeah, I guess that's
Okay. Sam,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and introduce Marvin.
So my character's name is Marvin Walker. He uses he, him pronouns. He's a parapsychology student who just so happens to be a little bit strapped for cash at all times. And he knows Alicia through the fact that they both have vested interest in the occult, albeit in different ways. And they've gone back a little bit further, and then I believe also knows Sage's character just through the dream experiences and trying to help Varia make sense of those.
Okay. And Shard Angel, would you like to introduce Alicia?
I'm playing Alicia Kane. She is an itinerant tattoo artist. She travels around purposefully looking for haunted places to hang out at as a hobby and study, because she doesn't believe in the supernatural, but she does know that there's a reason that people think something is haunted and wants to find those reasons. She tends to either hang out at a local place that's been set up for tattooing, or goes house to house to do tattoos in people's parlors.
Okie dokie.
Can I just say one thing that's really funny?
Go for it.
I set out to play a drifter, but in this game you roll for your income. And it's like, it's a D10, so 1 is minimum, 10 is maximum. I rolled a freaking 10. So this is the richest vagrant you have ever met.
Hey, so we've got a rich vagrant, a fairly well-off itinerant, and then we have a really poor student and a really poor artist.
Yeah. we have the student who is the classic penniless student, spent their grant in the first week, and has been doing odd jobs and teaching assistant work ever since week 2. So
this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is fine.
Can't offer to pay you, and is in the cheapest, crappiest little boarding house in Boston, within shooting distance of the university.
And obviously, absolutely no real life experience with any of this.
You
economy is fine.
So yes, you will know through having put up signs basically saying, are you interested in finding out what is beyond? Please join. You will not be paid. Probably not dangerous. And run people through things like the cards to identify people with ESP, that sort of thing. Which is of intense interest to you, but hasn't yet proven anything. So you are kind of the hub of this situation. So it's all your fault. So it's you that a man comes to speak about a problem he's got. He's been pointed in your direction by one of your professors, who has taken pity on you because this guy is offering money for somebody to investigate a situation and resolve it for him. And I just need to close my email client because I forgot I hadn't done so.
It's fine.
It's all right. It just caught me on the hop. So yes, since he is offering this as a paid investigation, and your professor knows that you need money, you are now sitting in a room with your weird friends who are the only people who applied for your experiments, or at least the only ones who came back for the after lunch session. One left crossing themselves, swearing that you were the work of the devil. but couldn't specify which one or an address. And now, a few weeks down the line, you've kind of got to know each other, so this is something that's going to be of interest to you all. So, a man is called Mr. Mackenzie. Mr. Colin Mackenzie. He's well, the term is bluff. There's a lot of handlebar moustache going on here. He's in his late 40s, and he's a landlord. Do not swear, that doesn't necessarily have quite as negative a connotation in those days as now. He has asked you to investigate the old Corbett house in central Boston. The former tenants were involved in a tragedy, and he wishes to understand the mysterious happenings at the house and set matters straight. Essentially, he was able to pick this place up cheap, despite it having a bad reputation, which was why it was going quite so cheap. And since then, he has discovered that there apparently is a bad reputation. He can't keep tenants in there. They keep reporting weird problems. He's never seen anything at all. There's no problem as far as he's concerned. It's a perfectly normal house.
Probably because there's nothing to see.
But he knows that he can give you the outline of the family who owned it before he bought the place. There were instances of awful insanity and visions and inexplicable events, terrible accidents. And as a result, the family were forcibly moved out to a new residence in the sanitarium, and the house went up for sale.
They put the whole family in the sanitarium?
It's efficient. You might as well get them all in there in one go.
Yes.
Bulk discount.
Well, at least you got your family with you.
Honestly, Arkham, Miskatonic, he's definitely the sort of person that has, like, bulk discounts on the sanitarium.
Fortunately, this is the Boston Sanitarium, which is...
Okay.
Yes, you are not yet in Arkham. You are not in the Miskatonic University yet.
It's like the higher level zone.
Yeah. You are in a college in Boston. Sam, your dream one day is to attend the Miskatonic University and venture into the library, which is renowned for having the wildest and greatest selection of books in its restricted collection that any student of the occult or weirdness would love to get their little hands on. Sometimes they even let you look at them. Sometimes the students come out of the stacks. They're fairly sure no one's actually been eaten. Not by the books. So,
Yeah, of course not the books. Why would a book want to eat you?
So, Mr. Mackenzie is he is offering good cash money. If you can find out what it was that sent the Macario family round the twist, as he puts it, because apparently he's Yorkshire, despite being from Boston. This is because I can't do a Boston accent. I can't even do a Lloyd Gross accent impression.
Please just do all these American accents as regional British accents, Trump, please.
I've been known to. I have been known to. I'm dreadful for it.
Oh, God.
But he's got that kind of, you know the whole industrial, the self-made man mentality. He's that kind of person. He drug himself up by his bootstraps. So he doesn't see why anybody else should be afraid of hard work. But at the moment, he's baffled. He's baffled, he is. So he can give you the information on what he knows about the Macarios, where they ended up. But he doesn't really know anything about them in particular. So you'll be needing to look into that. And here's the keys to the property, so you can let yourself in. And if you can tell me what's going on, I'm offering compensation. It's full answers. It'll be $50 to you. He's looking at Sam, and looking slightly shiftily at the rest of you, like he's not sure. And if you can tell me what's going on, that's $50. If you can ensure that it's never happening again, that's another $50. And $10 to your friends.
Right, yes, sir.
So you'll be looking into it for me, yep?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Pulls out an envelope with the keys and the address of the property of the Corbett house, as it is known. Then after a few pleasantries and a phone number where you can reach him, and an address, in fact, where you can reach him in town. Once you've sorted this out. Oh, I'm underpaying you. Sorry. Just realised they have actually given me an amount to pay you. Oh well.
I was wondering about the being underpaid part, because paying $50 to Marvin and then $10 each to the rest of us. What?
Well, nobody's challenged him.
I'm not going to. I don't need it.
Liz, again, isn't really here for the money.
Yeah.
You have a bargaining skill.
I do.
If anybody wishes to attempt to challenge him on how much he's paying, everybody has at least a 5% chance of bargaining.
I am going to attempt to bargain, because regardless of my need, I know that Marvin really needs it because he's asked me for money before.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, this is a percentile skill, so it's roll and get it equal to or less than your skill.
So I rolled a 19.
You rolled a 19. What is your bargain?
25.
Right. And was that a 15 that I just spotted Liz rolling?
I did not roll, so I don't know how Liz...
Oh, that was an earlier test.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Wouldn't pass anyway, so...
Sorry, what did you say your bargain was? I just completely glitched out on that.
25.
25, okay. You cough gently at the mention of the $10 per person. And he almost inwardly deflates a little bit. And adds an extra $10 on top of that per person on successful completion, and guarantee that this won't happen again. He's very clear about that.
One of the easiest ways to guarantee that something doesn't happen again is make sure the police take care of whoever's causing the problems to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, and as he gets up to leave, no burning the house down.
I remembered just before I finished my sentence that I was playing a serious character, because I was going to say, well, we could just burn the house down and that would solve all the problems.
Yes, no pay you burn the house down. I won't be paying for that. I could burn my house down, that's not a problem. I'd rather not burn the house down. Hard to rent a burned house. You have to rebuild it and everything, and that's expensive. That's money. Okay, so you have options. You are in Boston, so you're in the right city. The house is in central Boston, so it is accessible. You have various options as to what kind of research you would like to do ahead of heading to the house, which I know I may be kind of leading you slightly, but It's a very different game to most sort of things. It's generally you look around, you do your research before you leap in both feet first.
If you leap in, you die.
Listen to Spud. Spud knows what he
Spud
speaks.
has played this game before. Or you have characters who do stupid rolls and manage to stun lock the boss for 6 rounds.
Is there
That's rare.
Given that Boston's fairly large, they tend to have multiple. Would they have had at the time, though, just one or multiple historical libraries?
Okay. Remembering the incomes in the COC rulebook, one has to assume Peterson had never heard of the Great Depression. Exactly. Yes, I know. Oh, and by the way, there is $20 in immediate expenses in that envelope, along with the keys and the address. So.
Hey, we can get a really fine-ass dinner tonight.
Okay. So, your options are... If you have no questions for him, or if you do have any questions for him...
Well, he doesn't seem to know what's going on.
He told us about the previous tenants, right, where they are?
Yeah, he gave you the outline of that, yes. So you know their name, you know when it happened, and as a result, that gives you a starting point. So... yeah, no. Sorry, I'm just reading the footnotes on the bottom of that article. Yeah, no. So, the family... Yeah, this incident happened in 1919. It's 1932 now. So, something happened in 1919, and since then, this has been a shunned house. That nobody can keep tenants in. So, it's not recent. Can I suggest an idea check for places to start?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, idea checks are a thing. I'd forgotten how good they are.
How do you do idea check?
You go for your intelligence times 5 if you're rolling your own dice.
I had an idea, but apparently I don't have an idea after all.
Liz, you cannot make a map out of Play-Doh and then hold a small compass above it and hope that something divinatory happens.
65. Okay.
I got a 45. My idea is 75.
Okay.
I got a 38 out of 65.
Okay. So, your options, as you see them. You already suggested the main library, yep, which will have a large historical records section in Boston.
Why is my idea roll so bad?
Maybe your character is just really bad at ideas.
Maybe. I like that out of character I had an idea and then I rolled it and in character it's like, nope. No.
Sorry, I only just spotted the alert come up and I was just having an, oh crap, what did I say? Moment.
Oh, no, I was testing it earlier. I'm so sorry.
I was just saying I haven't done anything yet.
We're playing Call of Cthulhu. As soon as you said that, I was like, nope.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, the library may have historical records for the house or for the area. There is also the newspaper, local newspapers, at the Boston Globe, which occurs to Sam, which is a source you have used before for reputedly haunted places. It's a good way to backtrack through the history of a place. And Sage, it occurs to you, Varia, that the Hall of Records might have something of use to show the previous owners of the house. Spud, unfortunately, hosed theirs.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
Yes,
It was that bad.
Sage,
It could have been worse. It could have been 95.
Yeah,
there are 6 ways it could have been worse.
Oh yeah.
I thought
you only failed by a little bit, so that's all right. I'm giving you one of the least useful ones as a result. Spud, however, is currently on the Play-Doh and divination track.
I was gonna go to the asylum, and then the game was just like, no, you're stupid.
The asylum is an option.
Yeah.
Can I go to the asylum, even if I'm very stupid?
You don't have to have an idea check to know that the asylum is a thing, and one of us would have thought of it either.
Yeah, you don't need idea checks for things. They are useful for when I want to hustle things along, or if you're standing there and you're collectively having I have no idea what this era would offer me.
Yeah, it's the perfect one for me, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Especially when we run into something that we don't understand.
Exactly.
Idea check. You're thinking you should probably run away. You rolled so badly, you think you should fight it.
That's just me. The 94 is just me every single time. I'm like, I want to befriend that tentacle monstrosity.
Yes, I want to fight a car.
That was partly your fault. You were okay. Some bloke, right? We were in a group meeting up in London. Some bloke wanders off into the road. He's from the country. He doesn't understand. He's a moron. He just walks straight into a road in London. Literally just shrugs and follows him. And I'm standing there, the native Londoner, going, no. And I panicked, and I instinctually ran out into the road with my fists up. And I caught up with them and thought, what was my plan here?
No, I was fine.
Apparently, my instinctual response to friends in danger is I'm going to fist fight a car.
I'd like to point out, I am from the coast, but we do have cars down here.
It's not the same. You don't understand. London traffic is just feral, especially the cyclists.
Oh yeah,
cyclists.
Cyclists are the ones who need to be
Packs of
paid off.
cyclists.
Yes. Okay. Fair.
Rabbit packs.
Okay. So, you don't have to split up. You're getting paid however long this takes. So you do not have to split the party. It may be more efficient to do so. It may be more efficient to all hang out together. And it's certainly easier in the era of no mobile phones.
Probably easier because only one of us
gives
owns a
information.
vehicle too.
Yeah. So, you can indeed, for example, you can make a list now of where you'd like to go and decide which order you'd like to do it in.
I think we should collect some information first before we go and see the family. Obviously, we need to see the family or whoever's still surviving of the family before going to the house. But I think we should go to the Boston Globe first to get the reports on said incident as given at the time, and then to the library to do extra research on that. The reports from the Boston Globe should give us more of a direction to look when we're looking at the library. That's my suggestion.
I'd agree with that.
Yep.
It's a reasonable suggestion.
Okay.
Also helps that if we keep with the library skill with the other folks. I don't know if anybody else has much in it.
I'm not sure that... dang it, names. I wrote them down and then I'm not even looking. I'm not sure that Liz knows how to read.
Liz, I was just thinking, because I sort of said that line, and I went, why can't I play a single character without sounding really posh? Even when it's completely incorrect. Why can't I do it?
I don't know, you're inherently posh?
My accent just goes full posh whenever I play a character. Like, for some reason my accent is a spectrum. It goes all over the place, but...
That's more like an explosion than a spectrum.
Explosion on... no, spectrum explosion, that's Captain Scarlet.
Liz, listen, Liz can read. Liz has 55 in own language, which is the default. It's just that library use is at the default as well.
Yeah,
So,
fair.
you know what? Yeah, there's a 1 in 4 chance Liz knows how to read a book.
Holy crap, my own language skill is 80 and I didn't put any points into it.
What is your own language skill 80?
I don't know!
I think it has to
It's
do
based on education.
Oh.
because mine is 65. So
Oh man, you should have got 4 more points in that.
You really should.
Children. No,
I'm still waiting for the exciting moment that my D&D character levels up, and I'm allowed to take either the mid roll or roll. Because if I take the mid roll, she hits 69 hit points.
The
GM is giving me looks already.
Yeah, I can well believe it.
I wonder why.
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
Talk about I'm a delightful player to have at the table.
So, how are you getting around Boston? There are...
In my van.
Okay. You have van, you have trolley cars, you have feet, you have cabs.
Yeah. One of you is going to have to sit in the back with my equipment and such, but there's enough room for one. The other two can sit in the bucket seat.
You can sit in the back of the van with the needles.
Hey, they are all perfectly well contained in their boxes and put up and
Do they
locked
get
to
up
the wall.
and walk around otherwise?
Yes.
Just checking.
Liz is just going to go into
With the way that I drive, yes. Also, I only just realized that after you told me that I had 50 points that I needed to re-put into my thing, I did that, but I didn't see where library use was, and library use is at the bottom. And I meant to put points into that, but I never saw it. Since we haven't started rolling on that,
would you like to twiddle a few points around? Go ahead,
I
sir.
would. Thanks.
Go ahead, Le. Okay, chaps. It's fine. No problem.
Liz is just going to get in the back of the van.
Okay. It's not the worst place you've ever slept.
Oh,
It's
no,
not the worst
far
place
from
you've
it.
ever sat.
It's actually got a hammock in it. That's
Oh, that is luxurious.
Yeah, now I've just got visions of her slamming the brakes on. And just, just spinning like you get in the Tom and Jerry cartoons. You end up mummified inside the hammock.
Don't put it like lengthways against the back. Put it on the side so it just swings like back and forth.
I hate you.
we know.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes, and anyone noticing the notices, I have just corrected the spelling in.
Yeah, I was going to say, apparently Am has Tourette's syndrome.
Yeah, I need to clean my keyboard. My S and my Shift key are a bit sticky at the moment.
Take a good look at the names of the people here. Literally, like, all of us begin with S. 2 of us have double S.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, you have to hit it quite hard at the moment, so that's an issue. Right. So yeah, no, I've got a cleaner, so I will sort that out. But I only just realised because I was doing that last minute, and I hadn't double checked it, so it was just looked up and went, oh right, okay, never mind then. Right. So yes, you can indeed pull up outside the Boston Globe, which does indeed have a large globe on the roof, not unlike the Daily Planet building in Metropolis. Because that's how this works. Funnily enough, the Daily Bugle does not have a big trumpet on top, last I checked.
It should do.
It should do, yes. It ought to. So, coming in en masse, there is a formidable looking secretary at the desk and a private door immediately behind her. She wears tweed.
Not sure how I can roleplay fast talk very well, but
I have fast talk, but I might look a bit grubby to be in the library. It might be a debuff.
Okay, so yes, it is in fact going to be a fast talk or persuade to get in.
persuade.
I have half decent persuade.
What's half decent?
55.
I have
Literally
60
half.
fast talk.
I
Okay.
don't even see it on mine. Where is
You may need to.
Is there assistance in this game, the system?
Officially, no. Unofficially, if somebody succeeds in a side roll of the same or related skill, I will give a 10% bonus to the skill of the primary roller.
Okay. In terms of fast talk, the route that I was planning on going, because I know that your fast talk roll is more than mine, but you're also talking about how grubby you are too, so probably should be me and you should help. But I was going to go along the lines of we're students from the school that's where it's Marvin's from, here to do some research into stories that have been put out by your paper regarding some various hauntings and people going into the asylum because they think that something's wrong with their house and such places. But basically pushing the we're student researcher angle.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Right. So, an associated skill for that would be credit rating.
Oh, fuck.
Feck off. I don't have credit rating. You think I have credit rating?
Which helps you appear trustworthy, believable.
Oh wow. I didn't put anything in my credit rating either.
Same.
Well, I guess no one can help me with this. Because y'all look grubby.
The problem
It's
is...
almost like we are underpaid college students.
Yes.
Apart from Liz. Liz has not... I don't think Liz has been to school in quite a while.
It's fine. I got a 5, so we're good.
Nice.
Right. Okay. You bombard the secretary with this information for a little while, and eventually you physically see her eyes start to glaze over.
Yes.
And she starts to get this vein in her forehead. If I let you in this morning, will you please promise A, not to break anything, B, not to tell me anything you found? I don't need to know. I don't care.
I genuinely tip my fedora. I have a fedora. Just like, you have our solemn oath that everything will remain in perfect condition.
Excellent.
And we will leave you alone any further.
Right.
I genuinely have a fedora.
I own fedoras. I think I own two.
I know. If you're femme-aligned, fedoras are brilliant. They're such gender. If you're masc-aligned,
You need a bit more effort to carry them off. Some people can, but yeah, you do need a bit more effort.
some people can, but usually that's trilbies, honestly, and even then.
I want to be able to carry off a flat cap. I've never managed that. I look awful. I look like I've escaped. I'm not quite sure what from, but if Pigeon Fanciers Monthly.
From life in general.
Yeah, but no, I don't. Flat cap, no. I wish I could. I envy people who can. Right. Okay. So, yes, what she will do is she will give you directions and she will scribble them down on a piece of paper so you don't have to come back to her and ask again. As to how you can get to the clippings files, which are, as she puts it, big books, which she underlines, and are organised by dates, underline. You just know in the future this woman's descendants use the term going forward in business context. And possibly overuse the word basically.
Basically.
I'm trying to think if I do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I do, actually. I think it's actually for me.
Yeah. everybody starts analysing their own speech patterns in panic. Yeah.
It's like, oh god, am I that person?
I especially like, well, actually.
Literally.
I try and get
Literally
away
is one
from
for me.
that. Yeah, literally I do all the time. No, the thing you have to watch out for when I do it is I make a noise, and I realised I described that noise in one of the Witcher stories I wrote for Tome of Chaos. I actually described it in the first one, which was this slightly strangled note that says, I've got an opinion you're not going to like. And I realised...
I love that one from you.
It's this...
Yeah, it's the one you do whenever I make a terrible decision in an RPG.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or when
I know I'm making a terrible decision.
Or when somebody
But
makes
I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, or when someone makes a blanket declaration, and I really don't agree with it, but I don't want to say they're full of bobbins. I kind of make a sort of.
It's that bit from Thor Ragnarok of like, really?
Yeah. Yes.
I like the pain noises Drut makes when we do something incredibly stupid.
Those
Oh,
are
I
just
love
pain. Yes. I apologise, by the way. I have various character sheet up. This is as much as anything because I needed a character sheet because I need to remind myself of the specific skills, and I want to be able to point you guys at the right skills because my brain keeps rooting into the wrong game. And I don't want to suddenly say, I'll have a perception check and have you there looking for a few minutes going, there isn't one. There's no such thing.
There's nothing to see here. Reality is an illusion.
This game, for example, splits up listen and spot hidden. You can hear things that are creepy. You can see things that are spooky. They may be the same thing.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky.
Now I've got an image of a parrot singing that song. Thanks.
Apparently I sound like a parrot.
I didn't want to say it.
That's okay, honest. Parrots are bastards, and I appreciate them.
They are. They're bastards who live for decades and decades longer than they really should. Okay.
Can I very quickly tell a parrot story?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah.
You're going to anyway. Rather than have you burst.
It was on holiday. There was a nice walk, and it happened to go past a small parrot sanctuary for parrots that have been mistreated.
Okay, is this a small sanctuary for parrots, or is this a sanctuary for small parrots?
No, they were quite big parrots.
Right.
And I was just vibing with one of these parrots because it turns out they love it if you mimic them. It seems polite. It seemed polite. Everyone expects the parrot to mimic them. I thought I'd mimic the parrot to do it in, be a bit polite. Parrot loved it. And in the background, this one other parrot just started screeching at the top of its voice. And the one I was just sort of head bobbing with just turned around and went, "Shut up, Henry!"
I really felt for the woman who had been on hold to HMRC for their business over the course of about a week, and they had literally had to phone HMRC every day because something had gone horribly wrong with their accounts and they needed to fix it. They'd just been put on hold, and they have a parrot. They posted a video at the end of the week of their pet parrot who they'd been sat there talking to while on hold. And the parrot was doing the hold music for HMRC. And at the end of one of the loops...
Oh, no!
It went, "Pick up, you bastards!" And she said, "Yeah, I've never trained him to talk. I've never got him to talk. My mother's coming over next week. Does anyone know how to deprogram a parrot?"
Good luck.
I love it.
But yeah, just...
Deprogramming a parrot requires chopping off the head and getting a new one.
Yep.
No, don't do that.
No, really don't do that. Yeah, no, some kind
That was a joke.
Yes, some kind of, I don't know, cult deprogramming center or something.
Apparently you're supposed to ignore them. You're just supposed to turn your back on them. Just like, no, because they had parrots at a zoo that had to be taken out of public from it because they kept swearing. Because people would react when they swore. And you have to put them in an area and then have the zookeepers just completely ignore them when they swear.
Oh,
and they'll stop doing it.
Oh, bless. Okay, so... Okay, freaky. So, you are wandering the corridors of the globe. There are business-like people wandering back and forth, looking very earnest, all carrying clipboards and files of papers. And a couple of glass-walled offices show people being very industrious at typewriters. Up at the far end, it has archive.
I'm giving you all some Foley.
Yes.
I accidentally turned my microphone off for a second.
Yes. Thank you for making my life slightly harder when it comes to editing this. Cheers. No, it's okay. So, yes, you can head up to the archive door, and behind it there is a feeling of calm and quiet. There's a slightly disgruntled-looking man leafing through a small pile of really huge folio books with the flat broad print of newspapers edited into bound into big flat books. So you've got everything that's above and below the fold in one sheet.
Yeah.
And he's just leafing through like this. Sees you, looks up, sort of sniffs, and goes back to whatever he's doing.
Why is
Otherwise,
he sniffing?
he does have a... Well, he either has a cold or he's been on the Colombian marching powder.
Did he have like some dusting of white under his nostrils?
Not that you can see, because he has a large, bushy moustache.
Well, surely that would trap it more.
Actually, wouldn't the yeah?
It comes under keeping it for later. But, you know,
Isn't that what that extra sniff was for? Is to collect some that was dusted on there?
Let's just assume, for the sake of any under-18s watching, that he has a cold.
Okay.
Or is
what
allergic
under
to
18s
paper.
watching this channel do Call of Cthulhu? Get out! Or pretend you're 18 at least. Do what we all did when we were like 15. Let's be real. We all did it.
Or work out your birth year.
Yeah.
So that if the bouncer
Just
asks
don't
when you're
tell
going
anybody.
Yeah, just don't tell anyone. Alright? Don't expect us to be responsible for it.
in. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
everything's fine.
Yep. So, it is indeed organised by year, it's organised by region, and it's organised by edition. So...
That makes it fairly simple then, because we can go to 1919 and look at that area for the region or county that the house is located in.
Yeah, it's in, as I said, it's central Boston, so it is Boston City,
Right.
rather than suburbs.
We'll be still be looking for specific streets once we get to that section.
Okay.
But it is a newspaper, so it's basically
Yeah.
looking through articles around that time. We got 1919. Did we get any specific dates?
You didn't
Regarding-
get given the month.
Okay.
It is broken out by months.
Okay. Then we're gonna have to look
Yeah.
through all of the months.
The books are roughly sort of 3 foot by 3 foot in size. I don't know if you've seen clippings books in newspaper morgues. They're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Microfiche was such a huge advantage.
Yeah, I am under 30, so I use the internet.
You know what microfiche is, don't even.
I probably do, but I can't remember because my brain is very
It's
small.
the plastic sheets that have tiny ass actual replicas of newspapers that you have to use a giant magnifying machine
God, that
to
sounds
read.
horrifying.
You can see it a lot, usually in spy thrillers and things, where people are doing mass amounts of research. If you know what you're doing, you can literally just go straight through and take in a vast amount of information. I've never quite had the practice. I've only used one a couple of times.
Even before the internet, all you young folks out there, we had data compression.
Yes. Yeah. It's the
That
same
makes it
principle
okay.
as in espionage, where they had microdots,
Yeah.
which is photographed slides,
Mhm.
micro slides, which literally could be hidden under the full stop in a printed document. you could, for example, have a wax-based ink, and you could literally just lever off a full stop, and underneath it conceal a piece of film.
That's incredibly cool.
That contains huge amounts of data.
I'm actually surprised that Spud hasn't encountered a microfiche machine, because I was still encountering them in actual use up until 5 years ago at the company I was working at previously.
Yeah. As Fish has pointed out, newspaper archive books are the coolest thing. Yeah, the Margate Museum has some, and it's where the stuff hasn't yet been digitized. And a lot of people do still want to go to the original source, because digitization doesn't necessarily capture every single detail. So if you want to look into specifics, or if you want to even analyze paper and the print that was used, you sometimes need to go to the originals. Really easy to damage, though. So, I would like a library use roll, please, from everybody.
Okay.
Library use time.
This is not to see if you find anything. This is to see what you find and how long it takes.
I rolled a 68 out of 45.
So, Liz, were you
Being
planning
out of
on
80.
making any rolls today?
Yeah, I was gonna. I made one roll that would have succeeded. It was just a practice roll to check the dice were working.
Spud,
That's
do you
the rude
have...
bit.
You have to have your own dice. At this point in the game, I think the online dice hate you.
Okay, I've just discovered
Sometimes,
how...
listen, when I need to, they love me.
I have just discovered how this rule set handles the D100.
Oh no.
So, Varia, you just rolled 100,
Oh
which
no.
is a critical fail.
Oh no.
Your mind melts out your ears.
No, it's more along the lines of, while everybody else is headed towards roughly the right clippings, you find yourself falling down a rabbit hole. It's like when you're Googling something. And you find an interesting...
Wikipedia rabbit hole.
Yeah, and someone points you towards TV tropes. And the next thing you know, it's 3 hours later, and you know everything there is to know about lamp shading.
Which has nothing to do with what you were researching.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so I rolled 13 out of 80.
Okay.
Oh, of course, the college student shows us up.
Yeah, the student knows how to do research. Okay, so while Varia is insistent that she's certain... No, there's something to be found over here. Marvin is going, no, I'm fairly sure it's this pile, and just doles out books to the rest of you, and you can start leafing through.
Perfect.
The pertinent clippings are filed by street address. The stories concerning the Macarios are generally brief and uninformative. They follow the details that you've already been told by Mr. Mackenzie, which are that they moved in 1918, that a year after moving in, the father had a serious accident, and shortly thereafter went violently insane and was committed. Within a month, the mother also went insane.
My notes started long and then they shortened to mother, or a month later, mom went nuts too.
And started babbling about a haunted form. There are very, very limited. It's very much treated as a silly season story for the most part. However, as the person who got the best role, Sam, you find an unpublished feature story from 1918.
Ooh.
Which is technically the year before where you started looking, but this led you back to a pencil in reference led you back to this, which states that in 1880 a family of French immigrants moved into the house but fled after a series of violent accidents left the parents dead and 3 children crippled. Subsequently, the house long stood vacant until the Macarios moved in.
Interesting. So this house is like over.
Oh, sorry, not until the Macquaries. My apologies. I missed that. In 1909, another family moved in and immediately fell prey to illnesses. In 1914, this story says the oldest brother went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife, and the heartbroken family moved out. In 1917, a third family rented the house, but they left almost immediately after they all became ill.
So it's kind of like a cycle of families getting ill or families getting affected by some sort of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And it went from...
It's 38 years.
Yeah.
Well, the house is older than 38 years, but that's fairly old for a house.
I do 38 years being old for a house. Oh my god.
Oh goodness, sorry.
I know,
The
right?
United States.
I know.
Your buildings are all so young.
The
My
house,
grandparents' house has
the house-
horsehair between the bricks.
the house that we own is actually probably, I think, 60 years old. So.
Oh wow.
Ooh, that is ancient by
What,
American
sweetheart?
standards.
Oh,
Sorry.
the foundation is 104 years old. I don't know how old the actual house itself is, but this setup is 104 years old.
Fair enough. My modern block of maisonettes is 60. And it's deemed to be a modern eyesore.
Yeah.
Modern.
Okay.
I'll accept that it's modern when you have freaking air conditioning and the ducting to provide it properly.
No, you don't get that in the UK. You just die.
Temperate climate, dear. Temperate climate, which people have been messing with.
God, could you imagine air conditioning drop? Could you imagine summers that aren't just the most miserable experience in the world?
I can imagine it,
I can't
yeah. It's one of the very few reasons that I liked occasionally working at my old job, because all of the offices were air-conned.
I just die.
You could set it for 18.
All right. So,
Right.
I would like to see if there's any articles related to or any mention of how old that house actually is, and see about looking further back for that
Okay.
address.
So, you're going to need to talk to the archives librarian.
Okay.
It's possibly your best bet. She said
Is that the guy that's
Oh,
standing there with cold?
No.
I love talking to archivists. You just sit there, ask them a question, and
And off
just
they
let
go.
them talk, and they will just keep talking, and it's fantastic. I love it.
I know exactly what you mean.
You don't even have to persuade them. They are so happy to share their life.
Yeah. No, it's fish. We all hate you. It's fine. Work inside a fridge 3 days a week. Yeah. Git. At the moment, git. Yes, again, a standard apology. As you can tell by my backdrop going back and forth, I do have my fan going because it's hot.
If you didn't have your fan going, we would be very upset with you.
Yeah, my fan
Yeah,
going.
if I had a fan, I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You should have it in 2 days.
Oh. Right. Sorry, let's do that. No, it isn't. That was just a journo. There is, however, a desk right at the back of the archives, which you have passed and largely ignored, at which there is a woman who is sitting reading.
Excuse me. We might need your help if you have some time.
Yes?
We are looking into a particular house and would like to see articles about it, if there are any articles related to when it was built, how old it actually is, and more history on it.
Right. What way? Well, first off, you want to be looking at the dates. I don't know if you have pulled out some books, yes, already?
Yes.
Right. Does that not tell you what you need to know?
It doesn't have how long it's been there. The oldest date we have on there is 1880 as the last article related to what we were looking at.
Oh, and you want to go earlier than 1880, is that it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, that might be a problem.
You haven't been in operation that long.
The Boston Globe, I think you'll find, has been in operation considerably longer than that.
Okay.
No, that's not the problem. The problem, you see, and this is a problem that unfortunately we can't do anything about, although some of our sister papers do have some of our archives as well, is that this archive, unfortunately, this archive had a little bit of a fire in 1878. So, unfortunately, all of our records earlier than that were destroyed in said fire because I don't know if you realise this, but newsprint and fire are a bad combination. Well, they're an excellent combination if you want to be warm and create a lot of smoke and damage an awful lot of irreplaceable archives. But they're a bad combination if you want to keep the archives in the condition in which you are desirous of having them so that people can get their fingers all over them.
Oh, goodness.
Don't give me the opportunity to act, because I can't act for toffee and I love it.
No, that was great.
Well,
That's amazing.
That was infuriating to listen to, and therefore you did a good job.
We appreciate the information. Unfortunately, we'll have to find another means.
Well, the Hall of Records might be your first bet.
Yeah, that is one place that we were going next, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be a good idea. Now, do be good girl, and put everything back where you found it. Works on the alphabetical system. Alphabetical and date system. So back where you found it. Don't make me come out there and rearrange everything.
Does Alicia get annoyed at this? No. She will attempt to put things back appropriately, but knows that they should not be putting things away in an archive. You take them out and you give them to the people to put away. Yep. The fact that this archivist is having us do it means that they are a very poor archivist.
No, they're very good archivists. They're just annoyed. You've interrupted their book.
I'm going to roll library use to put them away properly.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Can I roll?
That's a 66 out of 45.
All right. We're gonna...
Right. Please fail. Please fail.
Sam.
99.
Yes!
You can go years, damn it, of Call of Cthulhu and not see 100 or not see a 99. How have we had them both in this session already?
Oh, that's right. 99's a good thing. Right. Dang it.
No, 99's a bad thing.
Oh, wait, so 100's a good thing?
100 is bad. 100 is the ultimate uber bad.
What's
the good?
Which is why Barry is down a different alley altogether with a pile of books.
Oh no.
Whoops. Sorry, fish.
Oh no! What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Too many full stops.
Oh.
Too many characters. Too many special character symbols. Basically. Sorry. Oops. But no, I will actually say what he said, which is you do not put the book's back spine in.
Oh no.
Which is what you start doing. Actually, probably what you start doing is just put it, squodging the either side, nice big space so that you can put them in flat. Slide them under the rack they're supposed to go in, and you hear the click clack of heels, and the librarian comes storming out, and tuts. We don't have a stream invective or anything, we just have a right.
Well, you did ask us to do your job for you. I apologize for not getting it right.
Excuse me.
We
Thank
did
you.
not study library science.
Quite clearly. But
I grab Marvin's hand and motion to the other two.
yeah.
Let's just leave now.
There's the sudden, where is Varia? And Varia is there going, this advert for the electric cap is really interesting.
Varia, where did we leave?
Oh no. Are we still losing Varia?
I don't know. So librariology.
Oh my god.
I like
Oh,
librariology.
also, I love the fact that Fishy did get banned from chat for 30 seconds. It's kind of his chat.
Yeah. Yep. He's the only one talking. It's fine. No, it's all good.
It's not anyone talking. It's the fact that, like,
yeah, I'm looking.
Just funny.
Okay, so yeah, I know. You can indeed leave. You've been there a couple of hours. You've been in there a couple of hours as you emerge blinking into the late morning sun. Well, smog.
All right.
Stream Elements is a bit overcautious, I have to say. I have extended its requirements a bit, but I may have to spank it slightly. Do it again.
When we get back to the van, I'm going to basically make Marvin and Varia decide between the two of them which one's going to ride in the back this time, so that Liz gets a chance to ride up front. You know, keep it nice and even for everyone.
I'll volunteer.
Oh no, Liz is quite happy to go in the back.
I'm just making sure everyone gets a chance to ride up
Fair
front.
enough. This just doesn't really care.
Right.
Marvin is happy to ride in the back.
Okay.
No one's driving but me, though, so.
I don't think Liz can drive.
Anyone who theoretically can drive, it's just the mysteries of the double D clutch.
Yeah, this is
You
not.
say that, but there's a reason I never even tried learning how to drive, and it's called my hands sometimes send the impulse to the wrong limb.
Yeah.
Fair.
No idea what that's like.
Gotta love that dyspraxia.
I mean, have you seen how people drove in the 20s? You don't need to know how to
That's
drive.
true. In the 20s, I'd have been fine.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, you've done the newspaper morgue. So, Hall of Records. If that's where you're going straight away.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten the Hall of Records in the order that I was listing earlier there, but I think Hall of Records would be the next best, and then library.
Okay. Oh God,
Well-
fish!
Fish.
I discovered that I hate where the reverse gear is in a Volkswagen Polo. I would just like to say this because it's awkward to get at, and you can get at it by accident far too easily, but not when you actually want the damn thing.
Drew, I have a very important question for you.
Yes.
Why was my tendency towards accidents ever remotely surprising to you? Like, you know fish, the more I learn,
Yeah.
the more I think I'm the... You know fish and Knight.
Yes.
Now,
Why am I the one who gets a t-shirt? I mean, I love the t-shirt, don't get me wrong, but why me? Why am I the one who drew the line at?
I don't know.
Because I think Knight was just angry at the light pole, and so that was an intentional one. He just wanted to show it who's boss.
It do be like that sometimes. I get like that with the router.
I'd like to point out I've known Knight since he was 13. Some things never change. It's just the scale. Okay. Plus he's been a drummer a long, long time. Okay. So, yes, you can indeed approach the Hall of Records.
That is such an official and fancy sounding name.
Yes, you can indeed. So, this will give you... Oh, sorry. Ow. This hopefully will give you the history of the, quote, Corbett house.
Mm-hmm. Or at least the financial and ownership history in a more detailed version. It's probably not going to give us much in terms of happenings.
Okay.
We're relying on dice, so we'll see.
That's fine. It's all fine. It's all fine. But it's not a big problem. It's all going to be fine. It's all going to be okay. Sorry. It's me having a complete necking turn. Right. Let me just check something, because I don't want to give you inaccurate information. I could give you inaccurate information if I wanted, but I really don't want to.
We'll see.
That's the wrong one. So's that.
It's been said of me multiple times.
Okay. So... Right, would you like to make me a library use roll, please? Closeted scribbles. I like closeted scribbles.
I do too.
Yeah.
That appeals to me.
23. That's acceptable.
Okay.
At least someone's looking right. I got an 80.
Okay.
What? Something has to be wrong here.
Library use. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
That. I refuse to believe that you rolled 0 twice.
0 twice in a row. Try it again. Just.
Just a second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll mine.
I just have had a turn.
Yeah, I think I might have just pressed the wrong thing somehow.
Okay.
But this is still bad, but not quite as bad as 107.
I tell you what. Okay, I tell you what. Because your previous roll was clearly messed up. Don't worry about it. I will allow you a free library use roll. Ignore that 92. Just re-roll.
Okay. Second.
Because if nothing else, that gets that alert off the top of the screen and it stops worrying me. Oh, for the love of Giggleswick!
Why do we suck?
You remember earlier, Dr was saying something about, I typically don't kill my Call of Cthulhu players. Remember that?
I don't kill my characters. I said nothing about the safety of your players.
No, it's okay. Solution number 2 is always available, as I learned in my old Call of Cthulhu game, which is always have a load of dynamite on hand.
I don't have any dynamite in my van.
That usually, for some reason, our characters ended up with a lot of dynamite, and I think the GM regretted this.
Oh dear.
Found it in like the second session. I just never seem to run out.
You know what? The person that hired us for this job did not say we could not explode the house, just that
yes, but it doesn't burn at all.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You can just get some glue and stick it back together, right?
Well, appropriate demolitions don't start fires.
This is true.
You got to put it in the foundations, explode the foundations, and the
collapse the house on the ghosts.
Yeah.
Swish.
We're thinking ahead
here. Build another house on top of that because that never goes wrong.
Oh no, absolutely not.
It's fine.
I feel like I, as a player, am taking sand damage.
Is this your first experience with me and Spud in a game together?
I've never played with Spud before.
Oh, Sam, you're in for a treat.
It's Drut's fault. Drut allowed both of us to be here.
When you say allowed, I'd like to go on record that Moliere, I was hoping, would bring a little bit of decorum to the proceedings, and unfortunately is a meeting.
How dare.
I know.
Molly, I love you.
I was trusting Moliere to be of use to me in this regard, but no, apparently actual work. It's, you know.
It's up to Sam and Sage to be sane and rational human beings.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great idea.
Oh, no.
Listen, it could be worse. We could have Lexi in here.
Yes.
Oh, and
Lexi actually managed to kill herself with the dynamite once.
I would just like to
She
say,
was in
by the
that
way, I'd just like to say, by the way, get well soon, Lexi.
Get
Oh,
well
yes,
soon, Lexi.
please do, Lexi.
Yes, because, you know, it's bad otherwise. Right, that's that. Sorry, I'm just slightly on the where has everything been hidden? Because I'm just finding my way around the wall set. I'm not a total idiot, but you would be amazed.
I have hydration, so I might be a little bit calmer now.
Yeah.
My brain's actually getting fluid to it.
Okay.
Fluid is always nice.
Ooh. Drut, you seem to think that look works on me. It doesn't just encourage me.
That was just randomly directed towards the viewers with a, you see what I have to put up with?
Oh, it's the turn to camera in the office kind of thing.
Yep.
You love us.
Good and funny. Okay, so. Yes, exactly, Fish. Right, so. In the Hall of Records. Varia. Nope. Getting nothing. However, Liz and Marvin and Alicia, you can find that the Corbett house was first registered for city taxes in 1850 under the name of under the name of Walter Corbett.
1850 is when it was built by this person?
1850 is when it was registered for city taxes.
Registered for city taxes. Okay, thank you, sweetie.
Not necessarily when it was built. But that would have been when it was connected to things like the town water supply and sewerage. Yeah, I think Sam rolled well enough that I will give you a follow-on from that, which was the Walter Corbett referenced in there. They have not a copy of his will, but they have a copy of the executor information of his will, which was, as far as you can tell, Walter Corbett was the builder of the house. Hence, the Corbett house. It is actually known as that.
Okay.
The executor was the Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets.
Oh, that's
Thomas.
a promising name.
Thomas Willis?
Reverend Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas. Jesus. Blah.
No, he was not the executor of Walter Corbett's will.
What was the church name again?
The Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets. Look, it's an introductory scenario. I never said it was subtle.
I volunteer to go talk to the guy with the funny church name.
Yes, absolutely. So I don't think this is a Christian household to begin with.
If you want to try another library use roll, you can, of course, look up the Chapel of Contemplation.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I'd love
please.
to.
34 out of 45.
40.
Wait, what? Oh, there it goes. One of the dice fell off the table and then it didn't load, and I thought I'd broken it.
Oh, no.
And I was like, it doesn't count.
Non-Euclidean dice roller. Okay, fine.
So, anyways, I got a 48.
You got a 48. That's fine. Would you like to have another go with Varia, Sage?
Yeah, I'll try.
Because you cannot physically roll as that badly again.
Don't say that.
Wow. Okay, one extreme to the other.
Oh, yes!
Okay, Varia just criticaled. Okay.
That
So,
was the Wikipedia spiral you went into previously.
Yeah. So,
Oh yeah,
while Sam,
it's tied to that.
yeah, so while Marvin is going, I think I found something here in the Register of Churches, possibly, Varia just goes, look what I found! Ka-thump.
Dust clouds everywhere.
Okay, the Register of Churches in the Hall of Records notes the closure of the Chapel of Contemplation in 1912. However, Varia's little wiki spiral took her down the criminal records route, while everybody else was looking at the history of the building and when it was wired up to the sewers. You were looking at the juicy criminal stories. You find references to actions taken in 1912, but the actual records of those actions are not present. With that roll, I'm not going to make you try again. The librarian at the Hall of Records will point out, if asked, I'm assuming you do, that serious crimes would have been handled in the county, state or federal courts. So the records of city officers participating in arrests or seizures are filed at the central police station, rather than being kept in the Hall of Records.
Great, we have another place to look.
Yay!
You don't have to look everywhere. I mean, you can just go in.
Hey, the longer that we spend researching things, the longer we don't go insane and or die.
Incorrect. It's Call of Cthulhu.
We haven't gotten to the library yet. The longer we don't get to the library and don't get to the asylum, how's that?
So, new things that have appeared on your radar: the Chapel of Contemplation, the Central Police Station. You already had the library and potentially the sanitarium.
How about...
Are they called sanitariums at this time, or was it
This
asylum?
one's called a sanitarium.
Okay. I was just asking because I don't
It's
know when they started trying to change it for...
it's what is, you know, it's arose by any other name.
Right.
Sanitarium implies you may ever get better. Asylum is more a place to stash people.
Fair enough.
It's a person cupboard.
It also amuses me that asylum also means safety from previous home.
It can mean safety, yeah. So, yeah, indeed, Sage. Yeah, go ahead, turn your camera off in VC. If you just mouse over your window, you should be able to. And then you can sort yourself out. Or if you want, I can just take you temporarily off the stream.
Got it.
You got it? Cool.
Perfect.
I know, it can be a nightmare, because if you're trying to be subtle, it's really obvious that you're trying to be subtle. And it's the least subtle.
On one hand, Sage like, oh, I'm going to carefully get something out of my eye. I'm going to turn the camera off so no one has to see it. And then there's me, who's like never wearing trousers, and I always forget that I sit with my legs up. The sheer amount of time my thighs have spent on Drut streams.
Yeah.
I
know.
figured you were wearing
Incredibly
shorts.
pale, just reflecting the light.
Yeah. I just assumed that by this point, you know, there would draw for parts of the audience. I don't know. Just let it go. Let's make more of a fuss about it. Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that.
Don't do that, Spud. Come on now. Go wash your mouth out.
I hate it. If I do, I have to stand up and then you'll see the lack of trousers.
Yeah.
Fine too. I thought we
just
were
make
using
it
it to
worse.
attract.
Returning to the previous comment, however, Fish is correct. The name was an indication that the asylum was supposed to provide the inhabitants shelter from a harsh world they were incapable of navigating.
Mm-hmm.
That was the theory.
Good theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we heard that this chapel is on top of the sewers, right?
No.
I thought you mentioned the chapel was on top of the sewers.
No. The house was connected to the city sewerage system in the mid 1800s.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
When
chapel,
the city was
however, is somewhere
probably
else.
getting up to date with having a bigger, better sewage system and power and whatnot.
Yeah, it was introducing, official supplies instead of things like people having their own water tank and septic tanks, stuff like that.
Listen, this is clearly going to take us a little longer than we... Why do I sound so fucking posh? My God, stop sounding so posh!
It's that tattoo on your back. It's made you sound more posh than you really are.
I'm going to have to introduce you to a Miss Marple story called Nemesis.
Oh, I saw that like last week.
Yeah. The Joan Hickson version, which has a guy who's a vagrant with a dog on an actual bit of string. He is a tramp about.
Oh, no, you could be
London.
really posh and homeless. It's just it doesn't work for the character I'm trying to do.
The thing
I do not visualise this character as being really posh.
Yeah,
but
the thing is,
unfortunately,
that character was played by Bruce Payne, who is never not posh. And yeah, this unfortunately is now how I see Liz. It's it's kind of knackered coat, but the coat was once designer.
Well, she's also rich as fuck, so like that doesn't help either.
Yeah, that's mostly like that's kind of invested in things though. In this case, rather than just like
yeah.
I had to work out where that was all going.
Can you channel your internal hope in terms of how to talk less posh, like a delivery driver for
I could only do London. That's the problem. We're in Boston. I could only return mentally to when I was at secondary school and couldn't understand a word of what everyone around me was saying because they had such stereotypically estuary accents.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean.
And it was all in it, mate.
Yeah, in it, mate. Yeah,
in it,
bruv.
In it, bruv.
Yeah.
Can't believe they were saying that unironically, mate.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
It's when you get people who I know naturally have fairly RP accents, and suddenly they're talking to their friends and they code switch to ain't it, bruv? Yeah, whatever. And you're thinking, I know how you talk normally. You're trying to talk like that, aren't you?
I would love to hear Chrono code switch into a different accent because his is very RP.
When he talks fast, occasionally estuary wanders in. It's interesting. So if he gets really enthusiastic about something, it's suddenly the T's and the D's start dropping off.
Yeah. My accent, like, when I'm I think it's because I always get a little bit anxious when I'm performing, and that's why it goes to full, like, posh. Because when I'm a little bit anxious, I go to full posh.
Yeah.
Normally I sit around here when I'm comfortable in the place I am. When I'm angry, it's, you fucking what, mate? Goes full Londoner.
When I get nervous, I get extremely cut glass, and all of a sudden, everything is there with a capital letter.
That.
Yes,
I've noticed.
You can tell.
I can tell. I have recorded with you, and I can hear when you're having recording troubles. You get angry. I'm just sat there like, oh boy.
Is it because I is posh? Yeah.
Is it because I?
Okay.
So the criminal records route.
Okay, sorry, I apologise.
I was going to say, look.
I did give this 2 sessions. I didn't realise it was going to be my fault. I do apologise.
I bet that it's going to be 3, if not 4.
It's going to be 2.
It's always 3, Drut. You know this.
It's going to be 2. If I have to blow the house up, it's going to be 2.
Well, to just give me dynamite. That is the ultimate problem solver in Call of Cthulhu.
But we don't even have to bring our own dynamite, because if it's going to end in 2 sessions, whether or not Drut has to blow it up, that means that some operators on the other side of whatever dimensional rift is going on, they go and blow it up because they're having problems with us.
Yeah. It's my old Call of Cthulhu group from the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
That's how they dealt with everything. We literally killed, like, an avatar of the... I don't know, or something of the winter guy. I can't remember what his name is.
Ithaca.
Ithaca, that's it. Just dynamite! It worked!
Are we murdering you, Drut?
I suddenly have an urge for somebody from completely the wrong era. and totally the wrong country to step through a dimensional portal.
Is it
with a
Beatrice?
pearl-handled Remington shotgun.
It's not Beatrice. I don't know who
Deal
you're
with this
referencing there.
situation and leave. Sorry.
Well, we're not going to be.
Because that's Hamilton Arthur Quick, the old boy.
Okay. Clearly,
right.
this is going to take a little longer than we thought it would.
Okay.
So, maybe we should split up. You go to the police. I go look at the church. I know people from all sorts of places. I guarantee you I know someone who's been there.
Do you now?
She probably does.
Fair enough. Okay, so...
Or at least someone who knows someone else who goes to the church.
Okay, Liz is off to the church then. Or off to poke around the church. Where would the rest of you like to go? Are you all going to the same place, or are you going to split up?
Honestly, I'd prefer that we just stuck together. It's quicker. We all have a chance at helping uncover information / whatnot. So I'd rather double down on collecting information appropriately than trying to collect it quickly. So, yeah, we can go to the chapel.
Okay. Yeah, don't panic, Sage. You haven't managed to pull a weird face. I always look really worried or annoyed when I pause my camera. Moliere has nailed the tactic of posing.
I
This is
somehow
one
am
of-
always blinking awkwardly.
Okay,
Wait, sorry.
so you don't want to split up. Now, is that you're going with Liz, or you're all going to one of the other places while Liz goes to the chapel? Go to the chapel and just...
Like, if you try and talk Liz into sticking together, like, you can probably do it. But
Yeah.
Liz wants to go to this chapel and isn't necessarily wanting to go to the police station, is all I'm saying.
That makes sense. I'd prefer to keep the group together, and having a vehicle means getting around town easier than trying to use public transport. So,
I am thoroughly loving that Shard Angel is the one trying to keep a group in one place instead of zipping off in 6 different directions.
I am playing a rational, intelligent character.
I know.
This time.
Okay. How about my character does some, like, off-screen information gathering with various other vagrants that they know while this lot goes to the police station? Because that's not really we're going to run into things.
You could indeed head around the local neighbourhood and see if any of the people
I know.
in the vicinity of the building in question know anything or
We'll
have seen anything.
do that too, but I mean, I can drop you off to do that on our way to the police station and then come pick you up afterwards. But we'll go ahead and do the other things where all 4 of us could be together first.
Okay.
Oh,
So, yeah,
What would you like to do first?
Chapel Contemplation, since that's something that was raised as a place to go next.
Okay.
I figured it was probably a good idea to go to the police station first so we know what the guy did.
Oh, okay. I'll
And
drop
that's
you
why I
off.
was going to gather information on the chapel itself
Okay.
while you went to the police station, and then we all went to the chapel together.
Okay.
Oh, you don't want to go in the chapel. You want to gather information. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
drop you
gathering
off in the
information,
neighborhood.
and then we all go to the chapel.
Okay, so police station, higher
Yeah,
court
that's
records.
Yep.
Okay. Right. You are going to need to get past the desk sergeant. Because again, they do have archives and they do have records, but you are going to need to get past them. So, we are looking at a law, a credit rating, or a fast talk to get access.
Fast talk, of course.
Okay.
but no one's got any credit rating to back me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only have a 15.
Hey, I mean, you could always try to roll a 1. Also, at least we don't have Liz with us because they've not.
Admittedly,
give
yeah, Liz is not providing a drag factor at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
For looking dodgy. So,
I try. Can I try to assist?
You can give it a go.
Straighten up your jacket, put your collar right.
That's a 76.
You forgot to brush your hair.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, Varia just spits on a handkerchief and wipes some dirt off.
My God, Varia is Marvin's mum.
Now explain the party connection.
So, doesn't give you any help. So fast talk roll, please, off Shard.
15.
If we fail, are we breaking in?
Please don't break into the
No,
police
we are not
station.
breaking into the police station.
That's
No.
what's known as a sticky wicket. To be
What?
honest with you, a sticky wicket. Your ball is attracted to the wicket, and therefore you're out.
Look, Varia, if you want to break into the police station, say after we go to the haunted house, that's perfectly okay.
Okay.
It's never okay. It is never okay to break into the police station. Okay, it's rarely. Sometimes it might be okay to break into the police station. In this circumstance, however, I would not
Kids, it is
recommend it.
absolutely okay to break into the police station. It's just
Honestly,
not a good idea.
one of the best excuses is if we find an actual sorcerer trying to do something stupid, they get arrested to protect themselves from us and are in a cell. We need to break in to murder that asshole and escape.
You play really different Call of Cthulhu games to the ones I run.
I was just saying that's just this is actually only my second Call of Cthulhu. Third. They've all been you.
Also me. I've been there for all of them.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the fast talk does indeed get you past the avuncular desk sergeant, who looks like he was installed in there about 5 or 6 years ago and probably doesn't move more than about 10 or 15 feet away from his duty station.
I pulled
given day.
I pulled the cute girl with a lad inside that I wanted to talk to.
Ah, right. Your description in that case was vague enough that it could apply to any one of half a dozen coppers in there.
Yep.
Who will now, every time they go past, any one of them will be receiving knowing winks from the desk sergeant.
Yes! Look, this is a fast talk situation, so it can't be persuasion.
Okay.
It's got to be a lie.
Right. Library use roll, please, once you get access to the records.
Come on, Sam, you got this. You can carry the entire group.
58.
Seriously, Sage.
Oh, goodness. Sage, you have real dice.
How? How?
Should we reboot Fantasy Grants?
Frankly, I'm wondering about an exorcism.
Does exorcisms work in Call of Cthulhu?
Now that is a complicated question. It depends on who and what you're trying to exorcise, and who you are, and how you're doing it. Hey Google, roll a D100.
I can only roll dice with 3 to 20 sides.
Oh, spot. Hey Google, roll the D10.
It's 9.
Hey Google, roll the D10.
You rolled 6.
96.
I was really hoping that it was going to be a 1 because then it would be the exact same roll. There was plague on our houses. There was a plague on our houses today. Okay.
So I rolled a 58 against my 80.
Yes, you are saving the day as far as research goes.
Yep, I rolled a 77 out of 45.
Yeah, you're looking. You find yourself looking at the vice arrests. Because you found a picture of a couple of the local ladies of gainful employment and you realise that you recognise some of your work.
Yep.
If those two stand next to each other, her left arm and her friend's right arm actually form a charming wedding scene.
Oh, that's adorable. That probably took me like 5 hours.
I love it.
It's like cake toppers. Okay. So, however, Marvin, who is the only one staying on topic at this stage, as everybody else falls down the rabbit hole of, oh, this is interesting. Oh, wow. No, he got arrested. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, I didn't know you could do that with a budgie.
Honestly, this is good research material for tattoo designs too.
You find records of a secret raid on the Chapel of Contemplation.
Ooh.
The police raid, this is written up across clearly several police notebooks and court records. So you basically have to piece this information together from several sources. But once you do, it lays out that the police raid was occasioned by affidavits swearing that members of the church were responsible for the disappearances of neighbourhood children. During the raid, 3 policemen and 17 cult members were killed by gunplay or fire. Autopsy reports are undetailed and uninformative, as though the coroner had not actually performed any examinations. Cause of death, dead. That sort of thing. The records show that 54 members of the church were arrested, and all but 8 were released. The records hint of illegal intervention in the proceedings by important local officials. But some of those records are then redacted. But it does offer an explanation of why stories of the battle, the biggest criminal action in the city's history, never appeared in print. None of this appeared in the papers. Pastor Michael Thomas was arrested and sentenced to 40 years in prison on 5 counts of second-degree murder. He escaped from prison in 1917 and fled the state.
Presumably fled the state.
As far as anyone knows, he fled the state. Sorry, Sam, what were you saying?
What year did he escape?
1917.
Mm-hmm.
What year did the records, the secret raid take place?
The secret raid took place in 1912. At least that's when the chapel was closed. If it burned down or was damaged by fire, as some of the bodies would indicate, then it probably was 1912.
And
yes, it was closed in 1912.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but 1917 was also the year that family moved in, all became ill, and left.
Yes.
The other house.
Yes. The Macarios then moved in 1918.
This is fine.
Okay, so meanwhile, while you're digesting that, Spud, would you like to make me a credit rating check?
Really?
But I want you to fail it.
Oh, well, that's fine.
How badly, however?
I failed it.
Okay. This is basically you're sniffing around. Let's rephrase this. I was not about to say you're sniffing around the local vagrants, but that's not necessarily the best options.
This isn't a dog park, Drut.
Are you sure?
You're trying to make yourself look as like them as possible.
Shouldn't take too
That's
much.
not hard.
And
I'm
yet,
already wearing the dodgy trench coat.
yes, you are indeed in the dodgy trench coat. You are in the Billy Doyle trench coat. So, you basically get sent around the houses. You can indeed sort of orbit the general area wherein the Corbett house stands. Most of the people who lived in the area before World War One have moved away or died. New offices and businesses have replaced the 19th century homes, because apparently Americans don't do preservation orders.
Oh, we do preservation until we decide that we, need to build on that space, and then we.
The Corbett House, with its overgrown front yard, is now the only private residence on the block. However, hunting around, you find a newspaper vendor. One of those carts on the corner, which is proprieted by a wizened little old man who looks like a combination of nicotine and alcohol have pickled him. Who flogs you an overpriced pack of cigars, or tries to, and some local newspapers. He does vaguely remember the area. Would you like to make me a persuasion check?
Oh boy. Persuasion isn't terrible, it's just most of it's in fast talk. Okay, it's not grand, it's 25.
Yeah.
Nice!
Oh, jammy. Okay.
I succeeded. That means I get a ticket.
Yes, you do.
Okay, I failed the credit rating, but I failed it like when it was meant to fail, so do I also tick credit rating?
You can indeed tick credit rating.
Oh, wait, so the failures or the successes?
If you succeed, you get to tick a skill.
Which means you could potentially level it at the end of the session by rolling and then failing it.
Yes.
Oh, is that what the marks are, the little boxes are for?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, Varia doesn't get to level library. It doesn't get to level library use at all, ever. I think at all. I think they may actually be illegal.
I did get one very good success.
You did actually, yes. So yeah, you can tick. Okay, so yes, you can tick it. Fast talk can be ticked for Alicia.
Okay.
As can library use.
Sweet.
Credit rating can be ticked for Liz. And again, library use.
Wait, did I succeed? Oh, wait, what? I didn't succeed it.
You managed to make one library use skill.
My library use is like 25. I did not roll below 25.
Not looking at that one? No, okay, sorry, my apologies. You're right. I was looking at the wrong person's. I was looking at the wrong person's skills. Ow. And no. Sam, you can tick bargain because you bargained with Mr. Mackenzie.
No, that was Shard.
Was that Shard?
5.
Oh, okay, my apologies. Sorry, Shard, you can indeed use bargain then. And Sam, you can take library use.
Mm-hmm. I think I've only succeeded at library use so far.
Yeah. Sorry, I completely forgot, because this is a system I know quite well. I keep forgetting other people don't.
Oh, don't worry about it.
So yeah, basically if you make a skill check, you can tick the box next to it, and at the end of the session we will go round and we'll see who gets to level it up. Okay? So Crochet, you talk to Mr. Dooley sufficiently that you don't have to buy his dodgy cigars in order to get him to talk. He talks like this. He's a little bit like this. He's got that sort of accent. It's kind of that American accent that might once have been Irish if his grandparents once came from Ireland, but he's not quite sure about this. And he talks quite fast, and he talks like this. And people buy his stuff largely to shut him up, because otherwise he will talk at them a lot. And he explains that he does vaguely remember the Corbett house. He knows is a bad place. He knows that people don't stay there long. He knows that there's no point him visiting the new people and trying to get them to take out a delivery for their newspapers because it's no point, they won't be there long enough. Or they won't live long enough to pay him. And he also remembers where the Chapel of Contemplation stood, which is a few blocks away.
I may not buy the dodgy cigarettes, but I do. Sam's finally noticed me.
Sorry.
My GIF. Like at the very beginning of the session, I put in a GIF.
Yeah.
Sam's literally just noticed it.
What?
You saw me lose it when I saw it, didn't you?
I heard you lose it when you saw it.
I haven't been watching the stream, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
It's in planning.
It's in the Discord. It's Sam being offered payment for the.
Especially because I've seen that scene enough times that the audio is playing in my head.
Yeah.
I've got to ask, what's that from?
Hell of a boss.
Hell of a boss.
It is a very. There's 7 episodes right now, and it's like we get an episode every year, every 6 months ish.
Okay.
It's made by
you've
like
heard
a
of
really
Hazbin
small
Hotel,
team.
right?
Pardon?
Yes.
It's the same setting by the same people, but it's instead of being focused on like the whole the more human side of hell with people who came down from the surface, this is a bunch of like born demons
Okay.
with their own business that they're trying to run.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's the information that Mr. Dooley can give you. It's Mr. Dooley who sells you the cigarettes, and I don't feel too bad about the accent because American Irish accent's weird anyway. So that's how he talks anyhow. So that's the information you can get. What are you doing now?
I'm giving him like whatever reasonable amount of like, I don't know American currency. I'd say a shilling for his troubles. But
it would probably be a penny or two, given the time.
Yeah.
It would be because pennies had literal, actual value.
Penny for your thoughts.
Still weirds me out that you guys call cents pennies.
I don't know.
That weirds me because it's kind of pounds, shillings, and pence, and Americans do dollars. Whatever strange devices that I have to keep looking up.
Nickels and dimes. Don't know
are.
which one's which.
The only reason I know a quarter
nickels
is a
are
quarter.
5 cents, dimes are 10.
You can drop
And
a dime.
dimes are smaller than nickels,
And
even
think
though...
quarter.
What's 25 then?
Quarters.
Quarter.
Oh, that's
It's a
that makes
quarter
sense.
of a dollar.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
I get you. You're
If you
smart.
if you want to give him something good, you can give him a quarter.
That would last him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sure. I'll give him a quarter.
Okay.
Probably more than the bloody cigarettes were worth.
Something to consider looking into that we probably would have discussed before you got there.
Mm-hmm.
If the vagrants around that area actually use that house or even remotely do anything around that
I guarantee
house.
you they don't.
You rolled well enough that you got led to Mr. Dooley. I will give you that. No, nobody sleeps rough in there.
Okay.
They would rather sleep in doorways, the ones that you found, than sleep in the Corbett house. But nobody can quite explain why. Everybody's heard stories from a friend of a friend of a cousin who had a bad experience in there, but you cannot quite track it back to the people who had the original source. Okay? So, are you meeting up again after they have finished with the police?
Yes, I'm getting picked up in the van, I assume. Just standing by the road, thumb out.
Yeah. The second vehicle that stops, you actually get into. Don't blame me, mate. Right, what is your new plan?
I relay the information.
Okay.
That this is like a known dodgy house in the area. No one's... Like, a lot of people don't really trust it, and I know where the chapel was, but I didn't get much info on it.
Well, the street side of things do tend to have good intuition about places that are safe and not.
You don't ignore an empty fully built house unless you have a very good reason to.
Do we want to go to the library first, or do we want to go to the church first?
Honestly, I think the library, but yeah, because the church was closed down, it's unlikely we're going to find any more information in word form there.
You know where it was? It's only a couple of blocks away.
It is.
Mm.
I think we'll just spend the gas and go to the library first, and then come back to the chapel if y'all don't mind. I'd rather be more prepared for what we're looking at.
Okay.
Right.
It's fine. See, the smile means everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
On the other hand, while we're driving there, while there's a very good reason, if there is an actual agent that is doing something to that house or with that house, they're probably propagating rumors within the homeless community, let alone otherwise, to keep people from actually being there.
Suppose, but you always have those desperate enough to give it a go anyway.
That is true. It's kind of like, yeah.
Okay. You can indeed head to the main library, which gives you access to the small press local papers. Yes, the local papers as opposed to the Globe, which includes the national and international news as well. And historical records, general civil historical records. So I am going to ask for library use rolls, please.
I've got to succeed at least one of these, right?
Jazz hands doesn't work?
No, I do not have to succeed at least one of these.
9.
I didn't get something in the 90s.
Yay! Was it in the 80s? What was it? Oh my god, that's actually just an average roll. I don't even trust that.
What is
So I got a 9.
Oh my god.
I succeeded by 71.
Huh, 24.
There's always one. There's always one, isn't there? Oh yes, I succeeded by more than everybody else's skills add up to. Right, okay.
Hey, at least it's the one that is an arrogant student.
You may gather, by the way, library use and investigation, quite an important part of Call of Cthulhu.
Yep, that's why I didn't put any points in either of them.
Wait, where's investigation?
My finger has disappeared into my shoulder.
I don't have investigation
So-
on my skill sheet.
Library use investigation, as in the use of libraries and paper sources in investigations. Don't worry about looking for an investigation skill. There isn't one. It's okay. It was just the way I phrased it. Doing investigation and looking into things ahead of charging in is a really important part of COC, basically. This is why I quite like bottle shows, because I really like containing how much you can do right from the start. You can't wander off in too many directions. In my own written scenarios, I do things like I will snow a town in, cut off the phone signal, lock you inside a house, that sort of thing, and leave you to it. Take you to a house party that nobody can leave because it's dangerous after dark, that sort of stuff.
Have all of the doors and windows freeze shut because you walked into a house.
Admittedly, I only stuck squirrels in the petrol tanks of cars once at a house party to stop people leaving.
Christ.
No, pretty sure it was me. So,
I think Drut could beat Jesus in a fistfight.
there's a sentence. I'm not even going near there. I really am bad with my fists. So,
Still could do it. I believe in you.
okay. So, you needed 3 successful library use checks. You got 2 thus far. So, Sam. Actually, no, you only... Yes, you got 2 so far. Sam, in 1835, a prosperous merchant built the house. but immediately fell ill and sold it to a Mr. Walter Corbett, Esquire. You find the bill of sale and the letters involving the reason for quick sale.
What was the year again?
1835.
Nice. That's almost a century old.
Mm-hmm.
In Shard Angel, in 1852, Walter Corbett was sued by his neighbours. You find the civil petition to force him to leave the area, quote, in consequence of his spurious habits and inauspicious demeanour. Are you guys going to go for another round of digging around?
Oh,
Heck yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Roll
one
again.
last round. Here
Sorry,
we go.
did you say 1932 Corbett was sued by his neighbors?
1832.
No. 1852.
Right. 1852 was the suit. 1832, 1835
The
is
house
when it was built.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Another round then?
Nice, Varia. Still not good enough, but nice. You're heading in roughly the right
Oh
direction.
god, I mean, I'm
15.
gonna die once. I'm gonna die as soon as things get serious because I just rolled a 6. I'm using up all my good rolls.
I am
It's
never
fine.
going to get a library use roll to succeed for this character, and I'm kind of okay with that. It's just funny to me.
You never know. I might give you a bonus for a really easy one.
What, in the children's section?
Yeah, you know, if
It's
a book
got
wants
pictures.
if a book wants to be read, I own Clifford the Big Red God, the children's book.
Excellent. I don't know what that is. I kind of want to see it now.
It's a book by Ken Hite, and you know Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah, it's that, only Cthulhu and the plot of the Dunwich Horror.
Okay, is he red?
Yes, he's big, he's red, he's got tentacles, and he's got too many legs.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Fringe-shaped.
I wanted to give it to my nephew, and I was told it would scare them.
I, as a child, would have found that brilliant. I don't know who thinks your nephew would be scared of that. My sister was 2 years old when she walked in on me watching Jurassic Park. She saw the lawyer get eaten on the toilet, and she burst out laughing. Children don't care.
Aww.
Children think that shit's hilarious.
Yes. Always struck me as the worst possible place to die. That's just embarrassing.
The
Okay.
toilet? Oh god, yeah.
But that guy deserved it.
It could be worse. He could have been using the toilet.
Well, I think he probably was at that stage, to be honest. He just hadn't taken his trousers down. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, who actually made their library use? It's Sam again, isn't it? What did you
15.
Oh,
get?
look at this nerdy student.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 6.
Okay, both of you then come from different directions to the same article in a local newspaper. Evidently, Corbett won his lawsuit because his obituary in 1866 states he still lived in the same place. It also states that a second lawsuit was being waged to prevent Corbett from being buried in his basement as provided by his will. No outcome to the second lawsuit is recorded.
So even though the will wanted him buried in the basement, they didn't allow it.
They
We don't know if they allowed it.
Mm-hmm. There are obviously hygiene issues, if nothing else.
And also digging up the foundation issues.
Well, maybe that's something. If they successfully, if he had people that successfully buried him in his basement, I mean, there's all sorts of diseases that could be floating around in there. So if we're going to go in there, we would probably want to get masks, because that might be what got the previous families sick, the ones that got sick, that is.
Draw, is this based on the Shunned House or whatever that one's called?
It's not, but it does have a certain degree of... I think they were reading the Shunned House when they first wrote this scenario, but it is not directly based on the Shunned House.
Okay.
which, by the way, contains one of the most Cthulhu Investigator quotes ever, which is towards the end when they make reference to going out and buying, I think it's a pick, a spade, 6 barrels of acid, rope, and basically a load of equipment, and they're having it delivered to the back door of the house. And I just read it and I was just, yep, that is the most Cthulhu Investigator player character action I have ever seen in a Lovecraftian book. Which is just, okay, right, what are we going to do? We're going to excavate and we're going to pour acid over whatever we find.
It's either acid or dynamite, and you're not allowed to blow up the house.
Yes. And if you've never read The Shunned House, it
We're
takes
not allowed
a while.
to burn the house.
Yeah, takes a while to get where it's going, The Shunned House, but it is one of the most role-playing style, one of the most game-style stories there is in Lovecraft. There really is. But you might have to diagram out the family tree involved, because it does start referencing various different generations. So you kind of need a notebook to one hand so you can work out, okay, so hang on, so-and-so was the servant of them, and that was their cousin, and it was his little right, okay, so they moved and they went there. Gets complicated, but it is a very, very good story. It's one of my favourites. And indeed, hello, Magpie.
Hi, Magpie.
Okay. So, you have been explorificating. It is afternoon. Are you going to the house? Are you going to the chapel? Are you going
to the asylum?
to the asylum?
I feel like we should go to the asylum while they're open.
Mm-hmm.
It might be worth your while getting in touch with the asylum today, because they're unlikely to let you in on the same day.
Yeah, all right.
But
I'll
it
give
might be worth calling them and...
instead of having to use fast talk.
Yeah.
Just pick up the phone.
Yeah, actually
Yeah,
arrange
I'm
an
gonna
appointment.
Pull over to a payphone and drop some coins in and ring them up. Do we have payphones at that time? I think we do.
I do the ringing because I have a slightly higher fast talk rating than you, I think.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Um,
You are calling the Roxbury Sanitarium. It's also a few miles outside Boston. So arranging to see it in the morning is fair enough.
My fast talk is 60. Yours is 55, right?
probably similar, unless you have a better idea, similar excuse as the first place we went to, which is we are college students researching.
Oh yeah, no, we're not going with that. We
I like that. No.
Nope.
Yep. I tell you what, while you're thinking about it...
Concerned but distant relatives is always a
Oh,
good one.
nice one. Nice one.
Okay,
standby.
make the roll, please.
Yes, make the roll. Do not roll badly.
I rolled a 49, that's a success.
Okay,
Yes.
right. So you've arranged an appointment for the next morning. Right, I will do as suggested, because of course I'd lost track of time because I'm useless like that. So,
Don't you dare say that.
we
Drat.
are going to take a 10-minute break, if that's okay for people. You all
Yeah,
right with
works
10
for us.
minutes? And we can go get a drink. If anyone has any questions, drop them into chat, and we will do our best to answer. Okay? So, see you in 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Right.
Sage just looks like they want to be somewhere else. But it's awkward to leave now.
No,
And
that's
welcome back. Thank you. I warned them, but no, they kept talking. So,
Oh, I was fully aware. I just
Okay.
don't shut up.
fair enough. Hello and welcome back. I hope everybody has medicated if need be, had a drink, got up, moved around, had a bit of a stretch, and eaten something if you have not eaten a food recently. So, these chaps are headed to...
Mostly chapettes, actually.
Yeah, I'm using... I've started using chaps.
3 chapettes, 1
I've started
chap.
using chaps, as in... but I always pronounce it cheps.
don't
as in
you mean
terribly
morsels?
What?
I have no idea. What?
Morsels.
Morsel.
Ah,
I could just go with victims, as I do on my channel, but I probably shouldn't
Yes.
put quite so much delight into that word. Because I always tend to go, hello, victims.
Dra, every single time a Call of Cthulhu GM tries to tell me that I am at risk of death, I do something bullshit and drive them up the wall. So please keep drawing victims.
Oh, no.
It makes it even funnier
What
when I
makes,
stun lock the cult leader for 6 turns.
what makes you think that I would be killing anybody?
Not in the first session, anyway. That's
It
like...
wouldn't. Drut wouldn't be killing anybody. It would be Drut's monsters that do the work for her.
There's wonderful assumptions people make about me and my games. Okay. Okie dokie. So, the most obvious horror game I ever ran with, the one that went absolutely the worst, and involved vampires and somebody licking blood off a bonnet of a car. It got weird.
Woo.
Yeah. Okay.
So for a second, you said the boot, and I genuinely thought you were saying boots, licking blood off boots, and I was like,
No.
okay, that is just fetish.
Luke, no,
Right, you have
licking-
got a fetish game. Congratulations.
No, somebody got hit by a car. Somebody else had hematophilia as opposed to haemophilia, and basically was just going, blood. So everybody else was having a fight,
mean-
and they were licking the blood off the bonnet of the car.
Oh, dear.
I mean, there's hemophilia, which is your blood not,
Yep.
sealing, and then there's hemophilia, which is licking the blood off the car.
That is actually hematophilia.
Yes,
It is a different term.
it is a different term, but go ahead.
Hello, and Zipsy. Hi, welcome to
Oh.
yeah, Call of Cthulhu. Eventually,
Oh. Oh.
and you are very welcome to Call of Cthulhu.
What did you do?
Spud, what have
Brain
you
freeze?
done?
Spud, are you okay?
Or did you shove the stick all the way to the back of your throat?
Okay, so what happened was the bottom bit broke, and it started to fall off. So I tried to get it in my mouth, but then my mouth was too small, and I was deep throating this goddamn Magnum, and I couldn't catch the chocolate because it was
You
too
were
close to the
deep-
front of my mouth.
You were deep throating
You
a
heard
Magnum.
You heard me,
Magnum.
young lady.
You realize it's a brand of condom, right?
Oh God, it's not, is it?
It is. It is
I
that.
didn't even think of that. But
There-
also the cold bit, I have sensitive teeth, and it was touching my teeth, so I was just like, ah!
I don't know if it exists over there, but it's not just a brand of condom. It's a brand of extra large condom.
You
That's
know-
why it's called Magnum.
No need.
think-
No.
think-
I am
I think Sage-
sweet
I think
innocent.
Sage died. I think Sage died.
Sage is gone, mate. You're good, bud.
Sage, how is your forehead blushing?
Clearly, you haven't been watching my cam that much because my entire face has turned red a couple of times.
See, I think I must be flushed because I actually look not completely white on camera for once, which means there's got to be a lot of colour in there with these lights.
Yeah, I unfortunately do look like I have been sunburned recently, so I'm just looking like this at all. Yeah,
It's okay. Sage is dead.
it's all
My
right.
face
No,
is
I'm
generally
leaving
this
Sage
colour.
to it until they're ready to come back. It's okay. It's all good.
Mhm.
It's all good. So, was the plan now, having arranged the appointment at the sanitarium, to go to the site of the chapel.
Yes.
Yeah, we're in the area. Oh, sorry, Sage.
You back okay? Okay. Oh, I'm glad that people can have some small morsels of enjoyment out of my game.
I'm sorry about that. That was completely unintentional. I just kind of trapped myself in a hellish scenario.
No, mate, I have genuinely been there, and it involved a Calippo and a split pack. Where I was trying desperately to get to the end of the split, and the further down it got, the worse the split got. So I ended up, how it didn't come out of my nose, I don't know.
All right.
Right, so, okie dokie. So, that's that one. So, the Chapel of Contemplation. Which you will reach in the late afternoon. What is
Okay,
left?
shots.
Sure, you back with us, mate?
I think we got the giggles, unfortunately.
Sorry.
She wins the blush competition.
Oh, she's so rad. You're so
You-
I'm
rad.
sitting
your
here
shirt out.
watching Spud eat. It's killing me.
What?
Exactly.
What? There's nothing wrong with this.
Okay, let it go. Everybody back to your corners.
I'm just gonna comfort
Deep
that screen
breaths.
for a minute.
Okay, deep breaths. Shard is demonstrating she has huge hands because putting it over the webcam just makes it look like you have massive hands.
I do have massive hands.
Oh, yeah.
Can I switch hands? I have really small hands.
Yes, so do I.
Sure.
I have kind of average sized hands.
I have ridiculously small hands. It's quite funny. I occasionally have measured them up against fishes. Now, admittedly, he's stupid tall. But my fingertips, that's to the top. That's the top of his palm.
Oh goodness.
That literally just hits the bottom of his fingers. It's embarrassing. Okay. No problem. So, what is left at the Chapel of Contemplation stands at the end of a crooked, dingy street. The ruins are so weathered and so overgrown with greenery, the grey stone rubble seems more like natural stone than former walls and foundation. You pass a slumping wall bearing white-painted symbols, apparently freshly swabbed. 3 Ys arranged in a triangle so the top elements of each Y touch the other 2. In the centre so created is painted a staring eye. When you near the signs, you begin to feel irritating tingles in your foreheads. Almost like headaches, but not quite. This feeling continues as you proceed. Would you like to see the pictures?
Yes.
Yes. Also, is it like just before the comfortable buzz of drinking?
No, it's more like at some point in the next few minutes I'm going to start haloing because I'm going to get a migraine.
Ah, okay.
But not quite haloing yet. There you go.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
So
I'm going to take out my little notebook and draw it.
I'm going to draw it down as well.
For future tattoo on myself, since this is obviously a creepy place. And
Yeah, that's an excellent idea, Alicia. You do that.
Alicia wears a dress down past her knees and a jacket with long sleeves to cover all of the tattoos she has. She has tattoos from every haunted place that she's been to, of either things that she's seen there or from the lore that she's read.
no, you should absolutely put this symbol with the 3 Ys and the eye on your skin. I think putting that permanently on your flesh, that couldn't possibly have any kind of repercussions whatsoever that I could then call back to later in episodes.
As a player, I understand that this is a terrible fucking idea. Alicia, on the other hand, doesn't believe in the supernatural or the fact that anything written on her skin has an effect on anything.
It's fine.
I
It's all
love
good.
it when a player knows that something's stupid. And it's just like,
Yeah. There is a
But
fine
consider-
line. There is a fine line between acting only on what your character knows and believes, and being a dick because it's what my character
no,
would
so-
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
There
I
is a
agree.
fine line
Last
between
Call of
that.
Cthulhu
You
game-
are on the right side of that. At
The last
moment.
long-form Call of Cthulhu game I played had like one of the PCs lock everyone else in a dungeon to die. Like, I am
Yeah.
aware. That's why we all quit, mate.
Yeah. Okay. But yes, there is a fine line between there. One is good role playing, and the other one is just being a novel and is not playing with the team. Okay, so you are faced with blocks of granite, half-burned, rotting timbers, and ancient rubbish. Bear in mind, Spud, that Liz has basically cased this whole area, and buildings have been knocked down, new buildings, new residences, new shops, new businesses have sprung up. They are quite well packed in together.
Yeah.
This
is very
has not been
distinct,
has not been flattened, this has not been reclaimed. It's just been left to be overgrown.
Okay, so it's like a burnt husk of a building.
It is a burnt husk of a building, yeah.
Is the undergrowth that is growing here, does it even remotely look like growth for the last, what was it,
20 years?
20 years?
Make me a knowledge check. 5 times education.
I have skills. By skills, I mean education. Well, it's 26. I'm not going to do the math on my education because I know that it's high enough.
Okay. Yeah.
You have pretty good education, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
But
it's
also,
16.
your knowledge should be on the main page of your character sheet.
Oh, hey, right there.
Right under-
The math,
Yeah.
the math is there for me. It's 80. Nice.
Yep. Okay. It looks reasonable for something that's not been disturbed for at least 10, if not the full 20 years since the chapel was raided and burned. Also, if it was raided by the police, they raided it really king hard.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like enough growth.
It does, yeah. It does. It looks like 20 odd years of growth, yeah.
Okay, good.
It's believable based on what you know of the vegetation in the area.
Mm-hmm.
It also looks like normal undergrowth. It's
That's
not,
good.
we're not talking glowing flowers or strangely independently moving leaves or anything like that. It just looks like various things. So, you can, if you wish, enter the open ruins, wander between the blocks and have a poke around if you like.
Mm-hmm. I'm especially going to, since obviously the top portion of the building, I'm going to go in, but I'm also going to kick around in the debris and undergrowth looking to see if there was a sub-level.
Okay, so you are deliberately disturbing the floor. That's fine. Right. The stairs lead up and stop. There is no upper level. There was basically a ghost of a staircase that was made of stone. So it basically goes up, turns, and just stops where it presumably would have hit the upper level. As you are kicking around and moving the undergrowth and bits of rubble, you all get to make a Dex times 4 or less check.
Oh, shit.
Dex times 4 or less? Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I have...
There is a sub-level, and it's collapsing on us.
Well, mate, as soon as you said you were kicking around and poking about, you are disturbing things.
Dex, yeah, that passes.
Okay.
What's 9 times 4?
9 times 4?
32.
48.
48?
48.
Okay.
No, 38, sorry.
Yeah.
I got a 37.
No, 9 times 4 is
With nines, Shard.
Oh,
the trick
sorry, no,
is,
36. Sorry.
36.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Shard, there's a trick with the 9 times table.
Yeah.
You use your hands and you put down the finger for whichever one it is. So
I've
4
never
times
used
4
my
finger.
hands. I used to have it memorized.
I promise I can
Like
normally
6.
add up. My brain just gave me the wrong information. I had a total link because I'm looking at a number in front of me.
Well,
And my
I
brain did
rolled,
that instead of what it was supposed to be.
I rolled a 37. So,
Okay.
You failed.
1, 2, not enough. I do have a
I-
jump skill, though.
So, Varia, what's your
So-
dex?
7.
Dex, 28. Yeah. Okay, so you're fine.
I'm not.
So, yeah, Marvin and Alicia.
So I rolled an 89.
Whoa. Right, okay, so Varia and Liz can feel a cracking underneath them, and just in time you're able to cling to the base of the staircase, which is a nice solid object. Yeah, I've played 7th Ed. It's okay. I think for layout purposes, I think 6th Ed is my favourite so far. I think 7th Ed simplifies a few things that I'm not 100% keen on. But this is why they have so many different editions. Works differently for everybody. So, yeah. You two are fine. You can cling to these nice big granite blocks. It's fine. As the floor goes out from underneath, Marvin and Alicia.
Take 10 damage.
No. It's fine. You only take a d6 damage. Give me a sec. So,
Death.
Alicia takes 3, and I remember I'm on speakers, not USB.
There's no spot for current hit points, is there?
Yes, on the main page, I believe.
Oh, because
Oh.
max is always size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Max is
Max isn't size.
no, it's
Max
the
is-
average of size and con.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. And oh dear, and Marvin takes a point. Oh,
Okay.
that's annoying.
Marvin gets a boo-boo.
I actually have pretty good con and size. I have 14 hit
Yeah.
points to start.
That's pretty
I just
damn
have
good,
shit
actually.
strength. Huh?
That's pretty damn good. That's
Mhm.
pretty damn good. Okay, so
Yep.
I'm
I've got
slightly
11.
peeved about that, I have to say.
Aw.
Not that I actually wanted to break your legs or anything. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
I've almost lost half mine.
Okay, yeah, to be fair, yours is pants.
What is
so-
yours, Shard?
I have 8 health. Right now I have 5.
No, buddy.
How the hell did you end up with 8? Let me just make sure.
Because
that's
my
right.
con is 7.
Oh yes, you got 8 because it rounds up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, average of con and size. Oh dear, oh dear.
I will say I'm not the one that rolled my stats.
No, you're not.
I didn't roll them.
Nope.
Nope, no, that's
It's all
entirely
Molly's fault.
It's entirely on Molly. Yeah, I know.
Love you, Molly.
Wait, why
Love you,
did
Molly.
Molly roll your stats?
Because they didn't have dice.
I was driving, so I couldn't roll.
Yeah, yeah. I'd rather somebody else roll a bad set of stats than have Shard wrapped around a tree. I'm
No,
funny
I wasn't
like that.
driving, but I was at work, so I couldn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alicia,
So-
yeah.
Okay. So this is fine. You fall roughly 10 feet down into the basement. This part of the basement was sealed off, reached by a separate set of stairs buried under tons of rubble, which you can see from this end. But from the top is simply under the rubble blocks that have collapsed when the place burned down. I'm quite impressed that Alicia was actually heavy enough to break the boards.
Honestly,
to be honest,
it's more like she shifted something that was a accidental counterweight to hold it up.
Yeah, it's. I've just got visions of Alicia jumping up and down on the broken board, trying desperately to
No,
go
she's not
straight
that
through.
stupid. She's done this before. She just didn't expect there to because she is light.
Yeah. Okay. Lying next to you, as you pull yourselves up and dust yourselves off, as the creeping afternoon shadows wave around you, are two skeletons dressed in fragments of silk robes.
Okay.
What you doing, kids?
Climbing down.
Okay. Okay.
Do I have to use the climb skill, or is it a short enough distance that I can fairly safely make it on my own?
If you use the climb skill, you will be safe. If you try and make it down just on the hang and drop principle, there is a small chance that you might take some damage.
Alicia's just gonna lay there staring at the skeletons for a minute.
Sorry, my climb was shit.
Both of you managed to hose your climb skills. That's fine. Right. Okay. Let's give you a 10% chance of taking damage, because there's a limit, really, to what you can do. Nope. I want percentile, please, sir.
Do you want me to roll a D100 for that, or are you going to roll that?
I'll roll it.
Okay.
91. Huh. Okay. No, you're all right. I literally was after 25 or less. Right. Okay. So though you both slide down. You get a couple of splinters, but you don't lose any hit points.
Mm-hmm.
And Spud, unfortunately, Liz ends up on her arse on the floor.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is fine. That's not coming out of the coat anytime soon.
There's a lot that isn't coming out of the coat anytime soon.
Okay. Right. Are you... what are the rest of you doing?
Probably going to try and move away from the skeletons that I just found myself face to face with a little bit.
Okay, yep. You're having your full Indiana Jones moment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think I'll pull out my sword from my cane, because I just remembered I have a sword cane.
I'm sorry, what?
They do.
Yep.
It do indeed.
How did this come into... I have one switchblade!
Yep.
Like a reasonable person.
You got the flick. Yeah, you got the flick knife.
I have one gun and one knife, just like everybody else.
Look, artistic types have always been a bit eccentric. It's a thing.
Just like everyone else, as though Marvin carries a weapon.
I don't have a gun, I was just quoting things. I should get a gun.
I have one.
I would be very tempted to work up.
Load.
Be so tempted to work up a monkey's paw or something for this. Which is a round knot. Look, you can wear like your key ring or something, but they're weighted inside so that they add extra weight to your fist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alicia's just laying there staring at the skull, presumably next to her head, just like...
Yeah, the robe was very nice at some point. It was dark blue with white stars painted, dyed across its surface. And around the hem, you've got that triple Y pattern with the eyes all the way around. They probably were hooded as well at one stage, but they're largely fallen apart as soon as you touch them, if you touch them.
No.
I like that. Nope. No.
Don't touch anything. It's with like the very tip of my boot.
Down here as well, there is a desk on the opposite side of the cellar to where the stairs are. And a set of filing cabinets.
And they haven't been like tipped over, rifled through. They look like they're still like standing.
It looks suspiciously like the collapse onto the stairs completely blocked off access to this part of the cellar.
Huh. Well, at least I opened up access. Sit up, brush myself off as best as possible, and head over to the desk to take a look at it, see if the drawer's
Okay.
open and whatnot.
Okay. Would you like to make me a spot hidden, please?
Oh, yes!
Just
when it starts to
Alicia.
get dangerous.
Just Alicia or everyone who's
Well,
going vaguely in that direction.
Alicia's going there first, but yeah, anyone who's headed in that direction.
Okay, I would love to make a spot hidden.
12?
Will.
What the? Okay, 16.
Oh no.
That's actually a success.
I will probably continue following Alicia around like a lost puppy.
Right. Bear in mind, if you make the skill check, you can indeed, of course, tick spot hidden.
As if we would want to. Okay, I got a 65.
Your eyes are opening. Inside.
Can I choose not to tick spot hidden so that I don't get better at it?
Nope. I've had people wanting to start my COC scenarios with less than normal on the listen and spot hidden.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah. I don't.
That sounds like cowards talk.
It is, yes. It is. It's also quite sensible. So, there is a huge, enormous tome covered in thick layers of dust on the desk.
Nice.
The desk itself is knackered. On the floor next to it are the remains of what was probably an office chair at some point, but a combination of the wheels rusting away and the nails dying in joints now basically means it's an IKEA flat pack. The spot hidden was to notice that what initially looks like a rope bookmark of some description sticking out of the top of the spine is actually a chain linked to a ring on the top of the desk. The book is actually chained to the desk.
The naughty book.
Well, it looks like someone wanted to keep this book prisoner.
Are you examining it? Or are you moving on to the filing cabinets?
I'm going to examine the book.
Okay. It is, as I said, it's covered in layers of dust. So, right, okay.
Just take like the hem of my coat and just rub at the front a bit.
Okay.
No, that's how genies pop out. I'm kidding.
Okay, so you rub at the leather-bound book, and then you get to all make me a sanity check.
Yay! Wait, why didn't Sage and Sam cheer with us?
That's the wrong thing. Oh no, that's not the wrong thing.
How do Sam?
I got a 6. I'm fine.
I got a 55, so I just barely made it.
Okay.
So I got to roll under my current sanity
Equal
points,
to
right?
or less than your current sanity, yes.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
It's
my
the
sand at
book.
60, so I'm okay by just a little bit.
It's just a book probably made of human skin.
27. So yeah, I'm good.
I guarantee you that's what it is, by the way. It's the leather is human skin. Even though human skin leather looks exactly like regular leather.
The leather is indeed human skin. The way you
Oh,
can
so-
tell it's human skin is
Because it's a fucking
there's
face.
a belly button there.
It's a belly button.
Who left the belly button on the book? That's gonna leave a weird bump.
Well, no, it's an innie, so don't panic.
It's
It's
still gonna
been
get pushed
stretched.
out unless it dips into
Yeah.
the book.
It has been stretched nicely, but
Someone did that on purpose. Someone
Marvin?
specifically asked for stomach skin.
yeah.
Marvin, I'm thinking at this
Alicia.
point,
So you can all
maybe
take
we should
1 point of sanity loss.
reconsider the job and look into something else, because this looks like a crime that the police need to investigate more. Granted, they already got rid of this, but whatever is happening here could still be tied to what's happening at that house, and I'm not sure it's safe for any of us. This is your thing, and I will continue investigating with you. However, this is disgusting. Granted, I know my profession, but my tapestries are living.
This ring that's attached to the desk, like, how is this ring attached to the desk? Is it like a big, solid metal ring, or is it like a small, like, finger-sized ring?
It's enough that it couldn't be casually removed. However, the desk itself is knackered enough that you could probably break the wood around it.
Yes, break the desk. I'm going to break the desk.
Yes, so you've all taken 1 point of sanity loss due to the realization that the book is made of people. It is an old book. There is a hand inked, and the tattooist will appreciate this. It has obviously been done with needles into the surface of the leather, probably before curing.
How's the skill level?
It's clean. It's very clean and sharp labeling. The book title is listed as the Liber Evonis. Are you opening the book?
Obviously. I'm going to break the desk
Before opening
first.
the book, I want to know if I understand those words.
I could also roll for that. I have other language Latin.
You do have other language Latin, indeed. This is a Latin check.
Okay.
That one that you open it. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me just head over. Yeah, it's your sanity points, not your san.
Yeah, I was trying to edit the sanity points, but it wouldn't let me.
It wasn't letting. Okay. Has
But
anybody else been able to change their sanity points?
Yeah.
No.
Like,
I was able to.
last time, but I don't remember how I had fixed that. Maybe it's under settings.
I will have a
Sorry,
poke
I
around and
rolled by
see if I
accident.
can sort that.
But yeah, no, it won't let me either. It let me. Oh, never mind. 1 second. Let's see.
I do have a manual entry on.
I was just clicking on the wrong place. I'm good.
Okay, I've done yours manually anyway, Sage, so you're good.
Thank you.
Okay. So you're down to 64, which is still pretty good.
Yes.
CSC Rule 1, never open it. CSC Rule 2, always open the books. They contain fun secrets. No.
They do!
All right. So,
hang on.
you said Latin skill check?
Yes, hang on 1 sec. Okay, go for it. It is fairly
88.
And what is your Latin skill?
Not 88. It's 36.
It looks to be you're not sure, but because obviously Liber is book. But only because it's Libro. And you're not sure who Ivan is, possibly the writer of the book. If you are willing to...
Or the book.
Yeah. If you're willing to open this worm-eaten, very poor, rotten state book...
I take out a handkerchief, so I'm not touching it. Yeah, of course.
Hanky's renowned as defensive against...
Dark arts, yes.
Yes, evil books.
Hey, it worked for Dresden, except he had daylight stored in it.
Right. I will try and decipher it if Alicia will open it.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, we'll have a look, but
no, I'm not going to
touch it.
Oh no,
I'm not stupid. Okay. So inside, it is a handwritten book on very thin vellum, and it is in very, very poor state. There are whole passages missing, whole pages that have fallen out, chunks that are illegible. It is in Latin, but it is in handwritten Latin. It's going to be a long-term project attempting to decipher this. The only thing you can get from it is that the title is The Book of Ibon.
The Book of Ibon.
Yeah, that's actually clarified in the opening.
So...
but you're looking at probably days or weeks to actually go through and pull any kind of sense out of the text.
I do have points and some other things that might be related.
Oh, do you?
I have a cult.
Yeah, I have quite a few points in occult.
Does occult work here?
If it works,
You
then...
can make occult checks.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
God,
everyone who's just kind of poking their head over the shoulder can.
Yeah, I got a 16. My occult is 75.
Okay.
My occult is only 25.
Shit, damn it. 12 out of
Rolled a
25.
27!
Right.
Did we all succeed then?
No, I failed, mate.
Okay, to all of
Somebody
you
got a
bar
92.
Marvin, this looks like, it could be something to do with witchcraft. There are strange symbols drawn in that you could well imagine in some weird Celtic ritual being etched on the floor somewhere as somebody writhes while having their vital fluids drawn out, that sort of thing. Marvin, however, who actually made his check...
I made my check.
Oh, sorry, yes, you did. So, yeah, apologies, Shard. Alicia and Marvin, then. This
Go insane.
doesn't represent any school of occult or witchcraft that you know of.
Oh, this is new.
There are symbols in here. Some of them mirror the ones outside, but they are just wrong. They are not what you would expect.
Have you seen anything like this before, Marvin?
I haven't seen anything like this before. How about you?
Outside the human flesh part.
Nothing. I got nothing. I'm sorry.
Well, you tend to put more time into this kind of
I'm
thing than I
sorry.
do. That's why I was asking. I'm just a hobbyist here.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Well, this is interesting, but I don't know that we want to put the time in to study it. If you want to, I'm still going to say probably not a good idea to have a book bound in the flesh of a human being in your possession, simply because it's illegal and wrong.
Yeah, I'd say as interesting as some of this is, I'm going to leave this
You're going
for
to
now,
leave
because
the creepy
not-
evil book in the now open air.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, if you do that, Liz is going to take off her coat, wrap it around the book, and then break the desk.
I think what we need to do is bring it to a museum or authorities.
Yeah.
However, we're not going to be able to explain it very well. The other thing we can do is to destroy it.
The thing is that we are in this abandoned lot that was abandoned because of a police raid that's off the books. And we have no legal reason to be here.
So fire. You're saying that we burn it with fire.
I'm saying that bringing it to the authorities might be a bad idea.
Right. So we burn it with fire.
Alicia, you don't just destroy knowledge like that.
There's a difference between destroying knowledge and destroying something that is not good.
I thought you didn't believe in any of this stuff.
What do you mean believe in this stuff? We leave this here, someone else is going to pick it up. Maybe they'll figure out how to read it, and then they'll start practicing this shit, and then kids will start disappearing again. Not because some mystical monster shows up, but because people are strange in their heads. I've met a lot of them. And when someone gets an idea in their head and starts looking into something, they start practicing, and then they go into deeper dives. That's how we get criminals. This is a thing of knowledge that deserves to be burned.
Or we work out what it says ourselves, and then we know exactly the kind of practices that these people are performing. And then, if necessary, that could mean that you can stop them next time.
That is a fair point. But again, do you want to be the one carrying around whoever's corpse this is?
It's probably not the entire corpse.
Shut up, voice in my head.
And you thought I wasn't going to give you any kind of moral dilemma today.
Listen, whoever this was, burning it or using it to try and stop further death is not going to make a difference to them.
That's true. I'm not going to carry it on my person.
Liz takes off her coat and wraps the book in the outside. She wraps it so the outside is around the book and the inside of the coat is outside. Because even Liz, who has pretty, high tolerance for things, isn't putting the crumbling human skin book on there.
Out of curiosity.
This is pretty broad-minded, but there's a limit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, what kind of shirt were you wearing underneath your jacket?
It's a long-sleeved, sort of loose-ish,
Okay.
masculine presenting-ish shirt.
Cool.
Could have been a nice shirt once, if a bit cheap. It's a little bit on the
I
rough
think
side.
there's a picture back up in the Discord a little bit.
Sorry, did you want the Discord back, the picture back?
Hmm?
Did you say?
No, I was just saying that Spud's character, Liz, had an image of their shirt in the Discord. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I did
right.
put my. I could just repost it.
No, it's right there. I found it.
There we go.
Oh, yes, there you go. Yeah, that was it.
All right, then.
Yeah, decent Hero Forge.
Well,
thank you. I hated trying to colour that coat.
I bet.
Poke around at the filing cabinet, see if it's actually unlocked.
Okay. Technically, it's locked. Did I mention that the wood was rotted?
Oh, it's a wooden filing cabinet.
Yeah.
The olden days.
Thistle Knight, burn it, salt it, leave.
Burn it, salt it, leave? I like that.
Which me and Fish came up with when watching The Woman in Black. The first time the house hoves into view. Yes. Leant over, whispered in my ear, burn it, salt it, leave. It's just, nope, we would not be going anywhere near that. Nobody I have ever run horror for would go near that house. It has unfortunately now become a thing. Supernatural did a similar thing, but for us it was Woman in Black, the Daniel Radcliffe movie. Not bad at all. Very, very nice film. So, you're poking around the rotten filing cabinets. You can literally just yank and the front will come off and you can have a poke around inside. So, would you like to make me a spot hidden, please?
Of course I would. I'm here for your enjoyment.
Anyone who is poking around in these filing cabinets can make me a spot hidden.
God damn it.
I'm busy breaking down the desk at the moment.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll take a look as well.
A couple of hefty kicks will sort you out.
All right, I got a 19, so that is a success.
Okay.
I think all three of us succeeded because the lowest in that is 25.
Okay. So yeah, you can poke around, and most of the books and papers in here have rotted away or they're covered in mold. Yeah, it was very supernatural fish. And they're rotted away. They're covered in mold. They're almost impossible to read. There's almost one that is almost legible that turns out to be orders of alcohol for someone's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You believe it's you see the word natal anniversary, so you're kind of assuming it's a birthday party. Must be what it is. So what you can find is, between the three of you, one of the few remaining intact books is a journal. Looks to be a diary. Most of which...
A normal, non-covered in flesh
normal
journal.
Bought from a stationer's diary.
All right, I'll open that up.
Okay. Right. Whoever is reading it, and only one person at a time can read it, make me a library use check.
I'm going to let that be someone else because they're better at it than me.
All right, Marvin.
It's in a selection of cramped handwritings. Oh, wow.
Nice. I don't know who that was, but
Me.
That was Sage.
Wow, Sage. Nice one.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll give it.
So,
Yeah.
yes, well, when you're there, they're going, do you want to do it, Mark? No, I don't do it. Do you want to do it? You do it. So basically, Varia just leans in and goes, for God's sake, give it here. Right, okay. You basically can puzzle your way through. It's got handwriting of a drunken doctor, frankly. It's
Nice.
dreadful. It's this scrawl of different styles, and a doctor writing a prescription after several shots of scotch on a particularly bumpy train is roughly what you're looking at for the handwriting. However, after flicking through, you find again a lot of references to individuals by their initials, along the lines of who is doing a reading, who is bringing, you assume, dinner, because there's references to goats 1 week, and then a few weeks later there's references to pigs.
Mm-hmm. Definitely what that's for.
So
Murder.
you assume, yes, correct. And a couple of lambs, but you're not sure what they did with them. And in between all of the mundanity of the day-to-day business of running a church outside the normal bounds of Judeo-Christian belief systems, in a unique
They
setting.
love their goats and lambs in Judeo-Christianity.
Yeah.
It could be still.
Yeah. Generally not sewn together. You find a reference to Walter Corbett, a member in good standing. Buried, this is slightly neater handwriting, it's obviously deemed more important. Buried in the basement of his house, in accordance with his wishes, and with the wishes of that one who waits in the dark.
That one who waits in the dark.
That one who.
You're reading this out to everyone, I assume, so we kind of get the things.
Yeah, but it's up to Sage. I mean, if Sage wants to sit on the useful information, then not tell anyone else. That's entirely their business.
I'll tell others.
Okay.
Call of Cthulhu is a game of sharing the insanity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have anyone to go insane with you.
Going insane alone is just...
It's always nicer to go in company, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything I can roll to see if I recognize the one who waits in the dark?
You can have an occult roll.
All right.
Okay.
Could I roll?
You heard
Yeah,
the name.
anyone who's got the occult.
Yes. Sorry, I'm turning my my coursework into a paper airplane. I hope the crinkling is
I got
coming through.
That's all right.
No, 60.
Oh, you're good. I got 66, which is still a success.
I got a 40, which is a success,
Yes!
and I kind of imagine that part of why I probably recognize it is because I dream about things like this.
Okay. Yeah.
I got 1 point below what I needed.
Nice.
Right. What you get is anyone who succeeds, of course, if you haven't already marked occult for improvement, you can. B, you know that it is not part of any occult tradition that you have found before or that you've encountered. However, Varia, something is niggling at the back of your head. It's almost on the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite place it. Something about this is familiar, but you're not sure what. It's right there. It's whether you've seen it, heard it, or something, you're not sure. But it's right there somewhere in the back of your hindbrain. Maybe at some point you have to sleep on it.
You know, I don't recognize that, but that symbol on the front of the door, or on the walls, could that be for this mysterious god thing that these people worship?
Well,
Is that a symbol for that creature?
it's the same symbol as on their robes.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps.
So it might be revering that creature. It might, or whatever that entity is. It might be defensive against that entity.
Honestly, they really need to get more creative with their naming conventions, because that one who waits in the dark is like, could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anybody. I know. It's a bummer, isn't it?
Liz turns around to Alicia and just says that normally when they use a title like that, it's because the name itself is meant to have power in some way.
Yep.
Right, I understand that. It's just should be creative.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Okay. So that's pretty much everything you can find in the ruins of the cellar. You can get out fairly easily because you can climb up the rubble where the stairs used to be. Now that the floorboards are out of the way, you can basically just climb up the big stairs and get out back onto the pavement. As night is starting to fall, and the shadows around here are very long indeed.
Hey, is anyone up for going to the haunted house tonight?
Sure.
We haven't been to the library yet.
We still
We've
haven't
been to-
spoken to the former residents.
You've been to
That's
the library,
true.
you haven't been to the sanitarium. Right.
We haven't been to the sanitarium.
Did we go to the library?
You did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. You did a lot of research today. It's easy to lose track of what was where. Right. In that case, you have an appointment for the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest that the characters can go and get some sleep. And
Liz will
rest
happily
up.
sleep in the back of the van.
And rest up, because in the morning you have an appointment. And we will call it there for this week.
Okay.
Perfect.
So Liz is curled up with a copy of the book of Liber Avonus.
In my van.
It's a teddy bear. It's in the back of the van on the floor, and I'm in the hammock.
Uh-huh.
You're in the hammock until I kick you out of the hammock because it's my bed.
Oh, is that your bed? In that case, fair enough.
You can
Go
sleep
somewhere
in.
else.
You can sleep in the cab if you want. It's a bench seat.
Sure, but that does mean that the book is sitting on the seat next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no.
it's fine.
This is fine.
And when you wake in the morning, it will be in the footwell. Obviously, you knocked it off, and it's lying open at about the halfway mark.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And you have this weird headache. Okay. So yes, we will leave it there for tonight. So we reconvening this in 3 weeks' time. If people are free, I hope you are, which
hopefully.
is the 17th of July.
Yep.
So, I hope you have enjoyed it. I apologise that it is basically research the game at this stage, but
Oh no, I don't
it
mind.
is the nature of the beast. It is what it is. You have to go through the research to get to the mind-numbing horrors.
Just to knock off a few like little sound points on the way as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
Just to
Yeah.
One
gently
or
tap
two.
away at that. Because God, this game's bad at letting you regain sound points. There's
Fine.
it's really bad for long form games because it's like I want to play this character, but they're on like 10 sanity.
Yeah, this is why you always like to have a party member with the psychoanalysis skill.
Psychoanalysts can only take you up to a max amount, though.
Yeah, they
So
can.
I can't fix the singular sanity loss that anyone's taken.
No. They can take you up to a certain point. However, you really do need a nice quiet holiday in a place where they'll listen to you talk for a while.
Doesn't alcohol also help?
Help is an interesting term. Traditionally in Lovecraft, they turn to alcohol. They quite often turn to opium on the grounds that seeing those particular spiders is actually preferable to seeing what's lurking outside the door knocking.
Yep.
I refer people to Dagon, where it literally was. It's an excellent short story, by the way. So, and yes, okay, admittedly, yes, one of your adventures did indeed start in a sanitarium where you had been taken because you all drank yourselves into an alcoholic stupor for 3 days. They had good cause. They were rescued with dehydration and alcohol poisoning and put into a sanitarium. And then I stuck them in the Dreamlands.
The Dreamlands are one of the nicer places you could end up in Call of Cthulhu, to be perfectly honest.
Can be one of the nicer places.
Yeah, but the fact that it can be and isn't just definitely not is a marked improvement.
True.
Yeah, it depends whose dream you're in. So, back in 3 weeks, so that's fine, on the 17th. And next week, it's Simba Room, run by Chrono Magistrate. So, looking forward to
Which will be a restart, even though we've
Yeah.
had a session of it. We're just starting over because it's been so long.
Yeah, life has got in the way, so we are going to reboot. We've had the unbroadcast pilot, and now we're into actually episode 1 of the series proper after it gets picked up. So, you know, some characters will look a bit different because they got recast. Various people will act differently because they lost the original scripts, or the focus groups just weren't keen on the way it went the first time. And we'll take it from there. So, thank you very much indeed. And you're right, Fish, it does indeed sound like a Roy Orbison backing lyrics. Simba, so, Spud, is Boundless Velocity streaming this week?
Probably.
Do you have a schedule?
We normally have a schedule, but Leto is away at the moment, so there's a slight case of jank internet.
Right.
But
Okay.
If all goes according to plan, we will stream 8 p.m. British Summer Time on Tuesdays and 8 p.m. British Summer Time on Saturdays.
Thank you very much. Okay, so, Shard Angel, do you have any streams planned for this week?
If I can get my head around it, yeah, I'll probably stream on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay. Any idea what you're going to be playing?
I'm thinking I will try to jump back into my time at Sandrock.
Very popular. A remarkable number of people doing it. So I have to keep looking at it with it's not quite enough energy for me to do anything I want during the day.
It is. The crafting system is extra in terms of you've got to build your equipment to be able to manufacture things, and then you have to manufacture specific items to put together. It's comprehensive. That's the word. Comprehensive.
It's a Merge 3 game in form. Okay,
Yes.
Spud, you have your finger up.
Hello. I was going to ask, do you want us to roll for skill improvements before the end of the stream
Yes,
or after?
actually, we may as
Oh.
well. We may as well do that while we're live. Actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it in order of just alphabetical order of the skills.
Tell us how that
Which
works while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the boxes you've ticked are the ones you've succeeded at during the session, right? You then roll it, and you want to fail this time. You want to get above what you have as the current skill rate. And if you do, you roll it's a D6, is it, Dra?
I believe it's a D10, but just let me check.
D10.
Let
And
me
that's how many
check.
points you increase it by.
I'm going to do this because I am not going to go to the.
Credit rating improved because... oh my god, credit rating... I didn't mean to click that again, you wanker.
You know what? It's actually easier for me to go to the main rulebook, which I wish I could say I had it next to me because I was going to be running it, but no, it just lives next to my bed.
So, the only one I succeeded at, the only one I failed was spot hidden.
I feel
Good.
lonely.
You did fail spot hidden. I saw some spot hidden fails, and I bet you're glad of that.
Page 53. Hang on. Let me
No,
just.
I mean, the only one out of the ones that I ticked that I failed was...
Oh, mate.
Right. Okay.
Sage,
Yep.
did you say you failed all of yours?
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, you get a D10 indeed. I thought it was.
All right, D10.
Okay, D10?
Yep, roll a D10 for each skill that you failed.
I gained 1 point of credit rating. That's funny. Okay, fast talk, please. Yes! I wanted to level fast talk. 2 points. Freaking yay. And then untick them as you go so you don't
Yeah.
accidentally.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I only had 3 ticked, so it wasn't...
Yeah.
Same.
That one did not.
Yeah.
That
the
one
upshot
did.
of the upshot of this is the better you get at a skill, the less likely you are to get the
Yeah.
improvements because the less likely you are to fail it.
But also the more likely you are to get the chance to do an improvement.
Fish, yes, it generally is sessions.
No,
I
not
will
you.
confirm this, but it generally is sessions.
63.
Spot hidden time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, would you look at that? I improved my spot hidden
Uh-huh.
by 2 points. God, I rolled piss for my improvements.
Yes.
I improved my spot hidden by 6.
But yeah, as a result,
Okay.
you generally start out by putting like nice multiples of 5 into
Mhm.
all of your characters
Yeah.
and stuff, and then it goes horrible.
Yes. Okay, so yes, if you failed the roll, add a D10 skill points to it, and then uncheck the tick box next to the skill so that you're ready
if
for
you-
next session.
I didn't increase my spot hidden.
I can't remember if this was in the new edition I read or if this was in the original guide, but if you hit 90% in a skill, you get to roll to regain some sand.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a thing. Is anyone approaching 90% in the skill?
I mean, I started out with 80 in library use
Well,
and 75 in occult.
okay.
I'm still a
If you
fair
hit-
bit off most of that. I've got a few at 60.
I will keep my eyes open then, and I will make sure that I've got that sorted out. Ouch. Sorry. You bit me. Okay. Sorry.
Sorry. How does recovery of hit points occur?
Slowly.
Yes.
No,
Mhm.
it's slow.
There are
It's just-
healing takes days, generally
Yeah.
speaking. Let me just bring that up for you. Having just closed it.
I wouldn't be concerned, except I'm squishy.
Way behind the rest of us.
It's fine. It's all good.
I'd rather go insane because it would be more fun.
Yeah. Okay, it's actually easier to go to the book because the glossary is there and it isn't in the rule set. Same information is, but it just makes my life slightly easier. Hardler, Haster, Haunter of the Dark, Hexenhammer, Healing. There we go. 30, 54, 56. You can attempt first aid.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone wants to do first aid on the 2 wounded people, you can attempt that.
I have 60 in first aid, so I can try.
I have 30 first aid. I think. Do you want me to try? Why do I have 30 first aid?
Oh.
I think you start with 30. I think you start with 30.
Give it a go if you want.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Okay, so I guess only one of us can roll for it.
Well, it's 2 wounded people.
Okay,
Yeah, there's 2 wounded people.
Sure,
I only took 1 damage. So I can roll for Alicia, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, you roll for Alicia, I'll roll for you.
I got a 35, so that is a success.
Okay. And since this should have happened before the end of the session, do me a favour and roll it again and see if you fail.
I did not succeed on healing your 1 point.
That's okay.
If you want, I can try.
Okay. I'll be nice and let you.
Oh.
Oh, so close. But no cigar.
Right. Well, I don't get to improve it anyways.
Okay. Right. So yes, you get a D3 hit points back. So D6 divided by 2, or just roll the D3.
Yes, because I have a D3 on hit.
Yeah.
D3s are abominations.
You've got a D everything.
I got 1 back.
Okay, so that's better than a kick in the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And I will look up healing rules for later. You know, you could go to hospital if you really wanted with your sprained ankle.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, you sprain your ankle. You're basically needing, you know, like your frozen peas on it for a while. Okay, so we will leave it there for tonight. Thank you very much indeed, and thank you for reminding me to do the improvements on stream, because I wanted to show people how this works as much as anything else. Thank you for playing. You have been fantastic players, and
Thanks
I
for
look forward to taking you on a little tour of the Roxbury Sanitarium, and then hopefully the Corbett House.
Hopefully we'll be allowed to leave again.
Yeah, just book a room in advance, it's fine.
Please don't bring that book in with us.
I'm not bringing the damn book in, it stays in the van.
And then it tries to drive the bus. Okay.
Look, how can it drive? It doesn't have arms.
Well, there's an assumption.
You know of?
It's just flapping at the wheel.
Right.
That's not horror, that's comedy.
Okay. Leaving you to it. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week. Okay.
Bye.
Good night, and thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye all.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.